All right, hello everybody. Welcome to the summer episode. My God, it's hot. It's so hot and it's so humid. I didn't do a video yesterday or the day before because this sounds like such a first world like petty thing, but oh my God, it's so hot. And both days basically I told myself, all right, just wait till the evening when it cools down, and it just never really did. I mean, eventually it did. I think last night I said in the Discord that it was still nearly 30 at nearly 10 p.m. last night. And then it dropped quite suddenly, and I think it was around 23 or something at like 10 past 10, which is just absolutely crazy. But I like summer. Summer, it's the thing. People always say, oh, what's your favourite time of year? And, you know, people say spring or autumn or whatever. I really like summer. Even living in the heat, knowing it, because the theory is this, right? It's easier to wrap up in a blanket, put another layer of clothes on, wear a woolly jumper to warm up in winter. If you're uncomfortable in winter, there are things you can do about it. If you're uncomfortable in summer and all you have is a crappy, leaky AC behind you, balanced precariously on a bed, then, you know... not be so good. But yeah, anyway, welcome guys, welcome. Let me turn off first person camera. We turned that on last time and all week I've been playing with it. And I don't know, I feel like the game's a lot more immersive when it doesn't click me into first person camera every time. Yeah, so today we'll be continuing along with Secrets of the Obscure. Once again, just a lot of messages that I wish I could remember what they all were right now. I'm sure they'll come up as the relevant story goes on. I'm currently the wrong character, I guess. Let me just clean out this inventory. I was actually going to clean out Liss's inventory in the last part as well, but totally spaced on it, so we can do that in a second. I need to buy my provisioner tokens as well. So what I'm doing in PvP lately is I'm doing the silver waste reward trap. I don't know, did I already say this? Getting coarse sand and then melting it into glass, which is not a very fast-moving economy, but it does give you more money if you make it glass and then you sell it. I'd really like to see one of these mini X packs ArenaNet does take a good look at certain old currencies and things that currently have no use, currently have no place, and see them do stuff. Yeah, my current build is really wacky. I don't really know what I think of it. Basically, I noticed that one of the relic recommendations for Condi Reaper now is Vas Relic. And Vas Relic is do a bit of poison after you use an elixir or a heal. So I look at the Vas Relic and I'm like, well, okay, I'll probably run that on Harbinger, but Harbinger has better stuff to use anyway, like Sunless on the power variant or whatever. So Vas Relic just never looked very good, but Condi Reaper's using it, even though they have no elixirs. They're using it because their playstyle anyway is to spam a really low cooldown heal skill for a bit of life force out of combat. So now you can go into a fight with 3 stacks of the Vas Relic, triple poison, and then heal again pretty quick in the fight, and another triple poison. So you kind of have 6 poison on top of whatever you want. Poison is really good if you're going to run any kind of Condi Ellie. We don't get poison on this class really, so poison's excellent. Normally I get access to it through the Doom Sigil, but with this you can actually I can't believe how quickly YouTube constantly keeps spamming me about ads at the start of every episode. But with Vas, you can get a lot of poison now. It's like way better than Doom. But the thing is, you need a low cooldown heal. Well, I talked to you guys about Arcane Brilliance already and why it, in theory, could be fun with Catalyst. So that's what I'm doing. I'm basically, you hit Arcane Brilliance, you get 3 poison. And then you wait, and then you do it again. Or just as the fight progresses, you do it. And it's alright, you know. It's alright. I've actually tried this on Weaver as well, Hammer Weaver. And it's so deadly. It's unbelievable. When you throw Primordial Stance on there as well, Carrion Amulet, Necromancer Runes, whatever, just you do so much damage. The problem is you got like no stab. You got no cleanse. That's a build you basically can't run into cleanse because I'm not using the superior catalyst heal. And on the Weaver variant, you got no like long form block either because you're not running Obsidian Flesh, because you're not running Sword, because you're not running, you know, Mist Form, I suppose maybe you could squeeze in, but that's got a horrible long cooldown. So whatever. So, but it's interesting, and it's quite nice to see another bit of the relic update is a little bit better than it first looked to me. I should probably turn game audio on, hey? Let's move all this up. You can see every time I'm back, I've got music muted and dialogue muted. It's because you don't need that in PvP queues. Let's turn that up. Also, I'm in Arborstone here because I was checking about my antique summoning stones. My ass, my weekly ass. Okay, so yeah, this was I told you guys about my bags on this, and I didn't properly demo it. So I thought what I'd do is, I gotta do guild invites as well. I'm really sorry if you've been waiting for a guild invite, guys. Oh, we got this as well, a supply drop here. Secrets of the Obscure launch week 4, so we'll have a look at that. But yeah, so I've saved up my superior ingredient pouches, which I get from login. So they give me ingredients. Do I have any others? Surely I've got more. I guess I don't have more. Damn it. Oh, so it's still not getting demoed. But basically, maybe we can open these. There you go. That's some loot. Anything else? We've got a champ bag there. This is all stuff we've earned from the previous episodes of this series, for what it's worth. All right, there you go. And then we hit deposit, and the row goes away. And what's quite nice is I've got this perfectly wide enough. I have it 32 wide, so every row is a bag, right? So if I go options, show bags, you'll see. It's all very clean here. So yeah, I've kind of found the perfect inventory size, and what that means is the devs should do, in my humble opinion, 3 more global slots and then stop. Once there's 4 more global slots, you can actually have more global slots than the highest capacity bag in the game, because you'd have 33 global slots instead of just, 32, which is crazy. But there you go. So I think that's it. We have a party request. I'll squad up. If you guys want to play with me, that's perfectly fine. I'll squad up and you can just join the squad. So yeah, let's go back to the Wizard Tower, I guess. And oh no, wait. I want to open this. I was just something in the back of my head there was screaming. There's something I forgot about. Secrets of the Obscure launch supply drop week 4.
Oh, what a
my account's in kind of a weird place now. Where wow, we get keys. My account's kind of in a weird place where, because I have so many, say, like backpack. This is going to sound like a total brag, all right? And it is a bit of a brag, to be honest, because I've got so many like outfits or so many like gliders in particular. If I buy those supply drop things, they'll often give me like, hey, here's a ticket for anyone in the game, go nuts. And like I'll scroll through the list and like there'll be like 40 things there and it will say already unlocked, already unlocked, already unlocked, and I'm really scared as I'm scrolling down the fucking list thinking to myself, oh my god, I'm not going to get anything out of this, and this is like such a waste of money or whatever. And that happens with like a few of those things, but happily with Secrets of the Obscure there has been like 2 locked things on the list out of 30 or 40, and I get to pick something. But I can feel I'm getting close to that point where it's all going to come tumbling down, and I don't know what I'll do at that point. That is a ludicrous first world problem, first world Guild Wars problem at that as well. There we go. So chest keys, the golden one, I believe these give you guarantee a rare, don't they? Yeah. I don't really know what the rare is at the moment. What does that mean? Does that mean like these items? Or just anything from this slot. So it could be like a Darkwing weapon, which I don't believe actually sell for that much on the TP. The best thing I could hope for would be, I don't know, maybe you can sell these. Oh, I think someone in Spud got this. They pinged it in guild chat the other day, the Black Lion exclusives chest, and I think they sold it for a few hundred gold, so that would be pretty good. The 25 statuettes would be good as well, because I could just use those for more unlockers. There we go. So let's just do our regular keys first. I have 8 up here. So that was a bad roll. Nothing good out of that, really.
Oh, I know of a good use for this.
Also a bad roll. Nothing good. Also a bad roll. Nothing good. Also nothing. Also nothing. Oh, wow. So that's 5. Usually you get 1 unlocker out of that. You usually get 1. But I don't get any real statuettes there. The Tyranny Exchange Voucher, I'm not really sure what. What I would love to be added to this is the festival currency for the festival tokens. Because my god, the grind on that is just crazy. Where are they? They're quite high up, I think. Oh no, maybe not. Oh, here you go. These. They cost so much. It's really interesting, that festival, the Crown Pavilion Zephyrite, the Bazaar Festival when it comes back. Because in Guild Wars 2, usually it's the case that something is easy to get, and you get it very quickly, or it's daily gated. Okay, so you do a bit a day. Do a bit a day, do a bit a day, do a bit a day. It's not that the game doesn't have grind. It's that most scenarios in Guild Wars 2, the grind is like a time-gated grind, and you have to commit a lot of days to it. What they tend to not like is, oh, go sit here, and it's capless, And you can just do, because there's often caps on things as well. You know, you do too many raids, eventually you stop getting magnetite. Do too many PvP games, eventually you stop getting gold for games and stuff like that, right? Like, they tend to have caps there. But the idea of just sit here and just spam, that's not really a thing in the game. You know, the closest that you get maybe is the mastery system, but that's like a permanent one-time ever thing, and even at that, I would say it's fairly shallow, and you get lots of boosts and stuff. Anyway, the festival is like the exception to that, I've found. It's a very peculiar experience to log into Guild Wars 2 and just fucking grind. There's no daily I mean, there are daily boosts. Every day that reset ticks, there are things you can do. Like, you can do all the bosses up in the boss splits, and you can get more currency from that. There are some boosts, but generally speaking, it's, no, do another boss splits, do another boss splits, do another boss splits. It's really, really peculiar. And so many items cost so many tokens. They're all like 1,000 tokens plus, and there's a ton of skins. And I wonder why it's so expensive and why it's so off-kilter with the rest of the game. And the only thing I can assume is that metrics have shown them that lots of people have crazy amounts of festival tokens. And people must have crazy amounts of festival tokens because they do the boss splits. Like, they've been farming it for years. But boss splits is not something I ever really cared that much about. I'll do it enough for my achievements, but then I wouldn't really bother with it. This year was the first year I seriously was, like, spamming the shit out of it and doing, like, the Raptor circuit race after every single time. And there's still a billion skins that I need to get out of that goddamn thing. It's crazy. And I'm not saying this in a negative or critiquing way, really. I actually think that that's fine in MMOs. I mean, I don't know. Is it good for society to encourage nerds to while their hours away doing repetitive, boring stuff that rots their brains? I don't know. Anyway, it would be cool if you could get them out of these, but you can't. I really don't know what else. Also, earlier in the year, I was really into trade contracts because I was finishing my Ascended item collection, but I'm done with that now as well. I suppose the Heart of Thorns ones, and then Geodes and Bandit Crests, because of the big PvP binge I'm on at the moment, I'm flush with these. Like, just got a ludicrous amount of these. Did I already talk about all this? But, like, I got 31,000 Geodes now, and 6,000 Bandit Crests. I'm pretty sure that covers my final Precursor collections that I haven't done yet. And there's really not many other syncs for them. Long live those maps, though, man. I get such warm feelings whenever I think about those maps. And again, it's funny. I'm so nostalgic and happy with those maps in retrospect. But at the time, I remember the community tearing itself apart and whining about every little thing that went in the game during Season 2. I mean, there's a real conversation to be had there about amount of content per patch. I don't know. Let's just do fractal relics. I mean, I really don't know. I mean, maybe volatile magic for my gobblers. You know, because doing your gobbler every day is a good idea. In fact, you guys want to see, since we're on a bit of a routine section here? Yeah, because I've almost never streamed this. Oh, I did already talk about it, did I? It must have been like day 1 or 2 or something. So here's my gobbler setup right now, okay?
Until next time.
First we do the leyline magic, and I either get a machete, but I just swapped to pack crowbars because I spend almost no time in Venombrink. I know some people park a character at the matriarch or whatever, but I don't really bother that. And then I just scan through these. If there's anything good, I'll buy it. And good means, like, one of these bags of dust if I'm low. Like, usually it's Dragonite. If I'm on a lot of World vs. World, my Dragonite stock goes back up. But usually it's diminishing, okay? So there's nothing really there. Sometimes you get a box of World vs. World supplies. And I've got these here. There are actually 2 varieties, depending on what type of gobbler you collect them from. But, and you can't preview these. These are pretty old items. But when you open these, you can just get straight up World vs. World ranks out of these. Just instant levels, which is nice. If you're, say, World vs. World preference in the Wizard's Vault, you could just quickly skip through that and stuff. Anyway, I haven't really done World vs. World the past 3 weeks or so. I'm kind of leaving that phase, I think, again now. Then I check my Karmic Converter if there's anything good. Usually not. Then I have it set up, right? We're going to go right to left. And the point is, we're going to use the Gleam of Sentience first. Because what I really have in excess is Bloodstone Dust. I get spammed with so much dust, it's unreal. But I need the other types of materials to consume the Bloodstone Dust in this. So it's not a good... If I'm low on Dragonite, it's not a good idea to use the Dragonite Gobbler instantly. If I use the Dragonite Gobbler instantly, Princess... Now, when I get to this, I can't drain the Bloodstone too. So this is the highest priority. These mixed ones are always the highest priority. And We get these, and then here, you see this? This requires unbanned magic, and if I don't hit up a Season 3 reward track or a map, I will run out of this. See, I'm down to 1,000. That cost me 900 for that day. So maybe that's a thing to get from the tokens, I don't know. Anyway, the fluctuating masses, I've ended up getting loads of, and I'm pretty sure these are the ones that give you the Karka tonic. I don't know if you guys remember me telling you the whole conspiracy theory about a potential hidden Mystic Forge item. You know, the infinite Karka tonic. Just so that you guys know, there is a tonic that comes out of this. It's very rare, or it might be the gunk pebble. It's one of these, the pellets, the gunk-covered pellets. You got like a 1% chance or something, even lower than that, right? Because you drink a stack of these, and I doubt you'll get very far. That's right, you drink the gunk, okay? You can get a tonic that just turns you into full-size Karka. It's like the rarest tonic. And anyway, there's another Karka tonic which has a Mystic Forge recipe to maybe make it infinite, and it's account-bound, so the idea is maybe there's a hidden recipe that lets you get an infinite Karka tonic, which would be the coolest shit ever. So anyway, I keep collecting these in the thought that maybe one day I'll have them all. You never know. Anyway, Harter takes some Bloodstone Dust. Mordry takes some Bloodstone Dust. The Star of Gratitude takes some Imperial Fragments. And then Dragonite Ore. The thing is, like I said, I'm low on it again because I've not been in one of us as well the past couple of weeks. But we can do some of this. I still really think what ArenaNet should do as like a... Because this whole gobbling thing is such BS, man. What they should do is they should have a prestige item in the game that is like condensed Dragonite. So 4 stacks of Dragonite, that's 1,000 Dragonite, which is not crazy, by the way. That would make like a condensed Dragonite, and maybe you need like some fat amount of condensed Dragonite, a fat amount of condensed Bloodstone, a fat amount of Imperial fragments, and then a fat amount of... I mean, hell, just do the stars. Just do Dragonite ingots, stars, bricks, right? Maybe a stack of each of those. Of these. So I've got 15 of these, 80 stars, 5 Dragonite. You know, maybe a stack of each of these combined with, I don't know, so probably Spirit Shards. Or Obsidian Shards. Condensed Obsidian! That's what they should do. Oh, and they should do that with the Fissure of Woe or whatever, if that's a thing, or the Obsidian Armor setup. They should do condensed obsidian as well. And you put them all in the forge together and it gives you some, like, infusion, you know? And an infusion is probably the best thing to go for there. But maybe, maybe like a, you know, a legendary effect or something. I don't know. I think that would be good, you know? But also, I think it has to be so ridiculous. Something character-bound or consumable would be good as well, because that makes it permanent sync, which is really what you want. You don't want just veterans to do it one day in 2023, and then in 2028, it does nothing for the game anymore. But whatever. Anyway, so there you go. That's gobbling. I don't know why we're really even there. I'm like majorly distracted here. Let's get to the Wizard's Tower, finish our tour. A friend of mine told me I can interact with some weird motes here, and it's going to summon anomalies that point at things, and we need to follow where they point. I don't really know where that is or what that is. If you guys do, please fill me in. Now, this is going to be a hell of a waypoint. This is actually probably the most expensive waypoint in the game now. Actually, hold on. I'm not going to be able to go here. This is going to be contested for sure. Can I go down there? Oh, is the map running? Oh, it's not contested. Holy shit, they're on the final boss. Do I have any reason to do that? I don't think so. I do have a bunch of stuff to get from this map still. Like, if you look, like, Delve into the Haze I have done now. I think I whined about that rifle achievement on one of these videos. I've done that now, and it wasn't too bad when I really focused on it. I forgot a filter. I knew I was forgetting something. Let's go back. But if you look here, what lies within, this is all, like, items. This was a huge patch, and I've got to get all of these items. Some of them are like a stack of Ecto each and stuff. Alright, okay. Filter.
Until
get a
we
basic
converse
filter.
again.
I've wasted far too many research notes on this map before, and this is just for funsies. I'm not gonna... The attack window closes in 2 minutes. They might be just wiping on the boss. They might not have enough people. So why do I have the haze debuff on me again? Is the filter gonna counteract that? I hope it does. Okay, so look, we go... Can I go through the water and the skimmer? The water actually isn't the most cornerly area. It's somewhere in the tunnel beneath us, but this will do. Okay, so we're basically in the corner. Oh no, it's totally down there. Hold on. Should we try it? I'm really scared for some reason I'm going to automatically die. I don't know why I should. All that's important is we get in there. Oh, it's only doing 1 damage now. Does that only start ticking harder? Oh no, there you go. Oh, is it because I was in the light maybe? It's the exalted setup. Rich orichalcum. This chamber gives me such like an impression of danger, because usually when you come here there's a whole Zerg and obviously a champion. It's quite cozy and nice in here actually now. So we'll grab this orichalcum.
Oh, I know of a
We
good
do only
use
have a
for
minute.
this.
Actually, yeah, and then we get teleported out, don't we? Okay, we grab the orichalcum. We try not to get in combat. No, we land for our juice. We land again. Okay, this is the cornermost area of the map, as far as I can tell. Legally. Probably. I mean, maybe the bottom of the Silent Surf. I don't know. We're more east here, though, which is good, because what we're doing now is we're going all the way... Still interested in this island, by the way. Going all the way to Amitas. That's a 10 silver waypoint. I'm pretty sure that's going to be more expensive than... Am I in combat? I hear something. Alright, well, let's go. I'm pretty sure that's more expensive than going, like, just north-south. You've got to touch the glowy plants in the water. What as you swim through? Because you don't actually need a skimmer to do that, do you? A skimmer is actually not on the list of End of Dragons mounts. Am I in combat? Of course you are. You're on the map. Yeah, I know. What is this heart thing here, guys? Is it? Everyone can click that, and it just... Is that you guys clicking that right now? And the 100? And the bouquet of flowers? Or am I the only one that sees that? In the live chat.
1,000 storms.
Yeah, okay. I think some people see it, but other people don't. Okay, that's very weird. That's like a YouTube sort of emote spam substitute feature, is it? Okay. Alright, oh, we never used our golden key. What the hell? Alright, here we go. Even that one was crap. I mean, really. Wow. Jesus Christ. I got given 6 keys there. I mean, unless the Etherbound... But the thing is, everyone got their gold key this week, so this Etherbound skin set is going to get tanked, right? There's no way that these are worth anything, because a bunch of people will have bought these, and a bunch of people are guaranteed to get them out of their golden keys. For some reason, the TP isn't working. I'll tell you what, a lot of panels have been bugging in the episodes I've done. Have you guys noticed that? They've really not been going very well. Well, look, and our special die there, we get Summer Sky. Real good. Okay, okay, so the first thing I want to talk about is the Order. So I think what we do is we go back to the Heavy Tome, which has been like the best book so far. I mean, the one about the Massar and Naos was pretty interesting as well.
Grabbed a little something special.
But where was it? It was in this cubbyhole here. Okay. We were talking about the Order of Verata before, and I had this clarified for me between episodes. I think it was this book. I mean, this was just crazy stuff, wasn't it? It wasn't Eparch who brought Nightfall to Teteria, but one of them, one of the gods. Redacted, we aren't to get involved with any quandary of the gods. Redacted, I'm informed these notations may be pulled later. Following our battle of Redacted, Mabon's headed to Janthir. We imagine the Massar are dwindling. The handful of Titans still remaining on this side of the Veil. The Veil meaning... So here, by the way, I'm just figuring this out. The World Spire made the Veil, right? I guess, so... They're talking about... So basically, if you look at the story of prophecies, the Door of Kamali, and, you know, Vizier Kilbron pulling Titans from another reality. What the Door of Kamali was doing was it was piercing the veil. Okay, the Astral Court set up the veil so that shit like this wouldn't happen. I guess, And the Door of Kamali was a way to break the veil. And it's kind of really cool that it happens over one of the Bloodstones, because it's suggestive that, you know, the Massart knew that seer technology went into the veil, and they're going to use other seer technology to help break it, you know. And there is no way in a million, billion, trillion years that any of that was conceived back when Prophecies was originally written, but it works together really nicely now. And by the way, speaking of the Door of Kamali, for those of you who don't know what I'm talking about, in Guild Wars 1, you know, one of the fragments of the Bloodstone was here. Actually, I don't think it was... it was probably here, actually. This is probably Abaddon's Mouth. I don't know. It's all totally different in Guild Wars 2. Anyway, it was somewhere on the island Fire Island chain. And the Massart opened this... there was a door. Glyn wrote a prophecy that said that it would open up, the Titans would come out and destroy all the Massart. So the Massart go there, and they defend the door, basically. They built this giant wall around it, and they patrol it, and they're just like, nobody's allowed to fucking get here. But to keep the door shut, they need to harvest souls, so they start going to manipulate the Crichtons. And that's why the White Mantle came to be. They're cultists that didn't know that they were... You know, basically after the king flees because of the Char invasion, there are no leaders, the Massart swoop in, instill their own puppet state with the White Mantle, and they tell people, oh, you're chosen, you're brilliant, come with us, and then they kill them. And so then a terrorist organization, the Shining Blade, start fighting back. You find out about all this, you join the Shining Blade, you come here to stop the Massart, and uh-oh, that opens the door. Whoopsie, I guess we've just released Titans everywhere. That's the story, okay? And so that's what they're referring to here. And I guess, yeah, that broke the veil, which makes Lord Odrin a really interesting character as well, actually, now that I think about it. Was Lord Odrin also was Lord Odrin said to be a human? I'd have to go back and read the Prophecies manuscripts. But maybe he was a seer as well, or he knew something about seers. And the way in which Lord Odrin made portals to the Mist also was because he found ways through the veil that the World Spire makes. But I think that's what they're referring to. Anyway, none of that is why I'm actually here. It wasn't this book. I think it's one on an upper balcony. It was one of the later ones we read in the previous part. That's completely solid. There's no way through the windows, as we found out on that original mission. And yeah, hello to everyone in chat. Hey WP, I was wondering if I could ask you a content creation question, or if this isn't the right place, I could DM you on Twitter. No, you can ask. It's fine. I mean, if it's really personal or weird, I probably won't answer. But yeah, no, it's fine. I don't mind. I'm happy to see where the conversation goes.
Pretty badly.
So let me see. It wasn't here. Was it even higher up? Yes, it was the document about Azure, who I'm not even sure how to say their name, but the revelation of who that is makes the whole book make sense, basically. That's the strike portal. It's somewhere near here, guys. I'm sure it is. Oh, mind you, we've never been here. We never got this. So yeah, this is the strike mission entrance. You know, they could have put all these in Arborstone, in the aerodrome. But if you remember, the Icebrood Saga ones take place in Eye of the North. The Canthan ones take place in Arborstone. These ones take place here. The only wrinkle there, I guess, is realistically the Breachmaker one is not really Canthan content. It was made during the End of Dragons era, so it goes to that portal, but realistically it belongs in Lion's Arch. And I'm just gonna say it again, okay? A strike entrance in Lion's Arch, maybe at the aerodrome if you like, wherever, put it somewhere. A strike entrance, it can have the Breachmaker, it's not called the Breachmaker, is it? What is it? The marionette, the triple marionette boss, right? It can have that, and it can have the Zaitan remake strike, and it can have whatever else, you know, whatever else you want from Corteria. You know, the Chlorojaw Mag, Tequatl, but original rework balance, you know. Okay, so anyway, this is it. I wish I could say I see people crowded around here all the time, but I don't really. That said, again, the strike mission section is super populated. It's unreal. Well, not necessarily right now. That's about normal. But I specifically just after the expansion release, it was really heartening to see just how many people were in there. And I'm quite tempted to get into the rhythm of doing like my daily strikes, you know, my fast 5 from Icebrood Saga. Because now that I can earn all those with the same currency, I could get all the combat tonics. I could get like the Scarlet tonic and stuff. Oh, there is a strike entrance in LA, is there? That wasn't true for Arborstone, was it?
To imagine him in this place, as bright as it is.
Did Eparch live here?
Long enough to be hungry for more. You should ask him, Wizard. Isgarn and Eparch have a long history.
Oh, there you go. It's for the Lion's Court in Lion's Arch. Oh, that's fantastic. I don't actually know where that is. Is it that you have multiple entry points then? Did they do one in Arborstone as well? Because I wasn't actually sure about that.
I don't know if
All right, here, was this the one?
Or
This is the Massart one.
fills me with an acute sense of dread.
Dada asked us to look through his things. We face no ire.
It's not that. Have you read this one? About his ascension? This implies that the Mursat of Janthir were not the first.
Speak up. I didn't catch that.
The Mursat are not from Tyria. They're from... Just read it.
What?
So that's that dialogue. We heard it yesterday. And what was kind of cool as well, or in the previous part, sorry, what's kind of cool is the start of that dialogue I kind of missed last time, but where she says, I don't know how I feel about this. It's a nice little extra thing. Yeah, here, by the way, if you look, Mabon, this is an interesting detail I missed as well. Or didn't retain. When Mabon was ascended, the World Spire wasn't complete, which meant there was no veil protecting this reality. Which means... probably this predates... the Eparch stuff? So here's the question. Was Isgarin already trying to shield this place from the mists before the Eparch stuff? Because maybe there's a timeline here where it's like, okay, you're Isgarin, your people are dead, whatever. You see the gods come from outside the mists and really fuck with a lot of stuff. So then you're like, okay, I'm going to make the World Spire. I need to find a Massart, blah, 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 to help me. Mabon helps him, and so on and so on. Later, Eparch tries to join, Eparch leaves, and now all the Rift incursions are a threat, and it's like, well, good, we've got the World Spire. That's one timeline. That's a potential way it would work. The other timeline is that Eparch comes, gets kicked out, founds his realm, and Isgarin's like, oh shit, we've got to do something about this. And it's because of that. I don't know what order it really happens. I'm sure if we really look through the details, we'll find it. But yeah. Like, I'd have to go back and read that other one about they're reflecting on the gods' activities, and did it sound like the World Spire was already there or what? I assume the World Spire wasn't there, because otherwise how did the gods get here? Oh my god, the World Spire could be an explanation for the Exodus. The whole Exodus thing with the gods is really weird as well, because there were kind of two. You know, the gods lived here in Ara with the humans of Or. And then they physically left. But then there was like a huge period of time where they clearly still had a stake in Tyria. They just sent avatars instead. They wouldn't physically come here. They would only send their avatars. And there's never really been a satisfying explanation or discussion about that period of time. Why exactly they did that. There's always kind of this hand-wavy thing of, oh, they're like parents, you know, and they're leaving now and they're letting us do our own thing. And then after Nightfall happens, and Guild Wars 1 is essentially set at the very ass end of this, okay? Because then in Guild Wars 1, when Nightfall happens and Cormyr takes Abaddon's power, they all just completely leave. And basically between the gap between Guild Wars 1 and 2, even the avatars don't appear anymore. That's why humans had like this crisis of faith in the story, you know, at launch Guild Wars 2, until Balthazar came back. And now there's... I wish there was more analysis on how they feel and stuff after all that. But yeah, so why were they so distant like that? Maybe they could use the World Spire and the Veil to explain some of these details. If they do that, though, that puts a lot of this story in a post-Exodus world still. You know, and one of the things I was quite interested in about Secrets of the Obscure is it seemed to be talking about stuff pre-Exodus. You know, Guild Wars has always had a good amount of history from today back to Guild Wars 1. There's loads. Guild Wars 1, the gap between the two games, Guild Wars 2, there's fucking loads, obviously. But pre-Guild Wars 1, there's a little bit, and then it's very empty until about 1,000 years ago, when suddenly we get a bunch of details about the Exodus. And then it's super empty again for like 9,000 years, and then it's glimpses at the previous Elder Dragon Rising. So you've got these two big gaps. You've got the big gap before the previous Elder Dragon Rising, i.e. the idea of a third cycle that we've never heard about, a pre-Seer cycle. All that shit is super nothing, except, I guess, now Ender Dragons and the awful stuff that was written about Suwon birthing the Elder Dragons and all that stuff at the start, and the entire realm existing, blah, 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 blah. So you got that gap. Then you got the gap between the two cycles, in which the Masar and the Seers have a war, but is essentially a giant gap. And what I thought was Secrets of the Obscure was really dealing with that gap. Then you have the Exodus story and the gap between the Exodus and Guild Wars 1. And this would mean that most of the Epoch stuff and the construction, the Veil and all of that, that would mean it's post-Exodus. It's a post-Exodus, pre-Guild Wars 1 story. Which is, at the end of the day, it's another gap. So, and they're filling in more details. So, whatever. I suppose I'd be fine with that. But that seems to maybe make sense to me. I don't know what you guys in the comments think. Hardy says, it sounds like Isgaran was here before both the gods and Epoch. Definitely before Epoch, of course. But if Tyrael was made by Suwon, was he here for that or before or after? Well, they also suggested that the bastions and the beacons and a lot of this like stuff that the Wizard's Court has might even have predated him. Like, the thing is, he doesn't tell people about this stuff. You really want a nice timeline graphic after this X-Pack? Yeah, exactly. That's kind of what I meant before. Like, it would be really cool to get my ducks in a row. Because we don't have a first-party source like we used to have from the manuscript saying this, then this, then this, then this. And I suppose it's because, you know, in part, the fun of being a lore enthusiast is to work it out for yourselves. But at some point, I would like something really concrete to look at. And I think if I were writing this, I certainly would have provided that for myself, you know, so that you're consistent and you don't make mistakes and stuff. So undoubtedly ArenaNet has that information. They surely have a proper linear timeline. But maybe it spoils it a bit to just be given. Anyway, we still haven't found the thing I was looking for. This is such a good note, man. Every time I read it, I'm like, oh, that's such good lore, and then it's also a bit sweet and romantic and interesting too, you know? And it just adds to it. It's like they managed to be evocative.
Did you see Urtik fight by
while also, you know, essentially doing an exposition dump. And that's a tricky thing to pull off. This area we didn't explore at all, so it wasn't here. Maybe it's one row up still. Sorry.
Spritwind! Ah! And Sprit's blade went right to the throat!
Oh my god. That was very high-pitched. I like Glade just chilling and listening. You know, all relaxed. Glade is...
did not have sugar this morning. No.
That's good. I like the idea of a Char hearing some brutal story and just being like totally chill about it because, you know, it's not what they like and value. Was it up here? I don't think it was in any of their quarters. Jesus, was it in their quarters? What was Mabon's journal? No, this was about the Mabon market, which again was awesome. I'm looking for these moat things as well. I mean, I don't know. Is it another floor up again? Oh, chat is disconnected. Please wait a second while we try to reconnect you. Successfully reconnected. Oh god. Are we lagging? Are we? Well, it looks like we're fine. So glad to finally see WP Live, my ultimate comfort videos for my ultimate comfort game. Need it especially today after more bad news regarding your health. Oh, dude, that sucks. I'm really sorry to hear that. Well, I will try to continue being comforting. Ah, I think this is the book. there was so much, man. Look at all this. The shit about the champion thing here as well. Remember? No, I don't think this is the book. The rude virus contingency. We're disconnected, everyone panic. Yeah, no, it's back. Maybe it was only on my end. I don't know why I would randomly get disconnected from my own goddamn chat, but there you go. At least it didn't delete all the old messages. Let's put it that way. So we were here. This is where we ended the last part. Is it possible it was in this report? An initial comparison. I don't think we read this. So here we go, guys. Part 1. An initial comparison of high and low cryptis. Hypothesis. High cryptis and low cryptis possess differing internal biological systems, resulting in the high cryptis's increased size and strength. Principles. Research lead Simmer, natural. So from the Bastion of the Natural, and the research assistant Toft from the Bastion of the Knowledge. Methodology. Comparison of cryptis biological systems via autopsy of varied high and low specimens, employing a team of cross-bastion volunteers participating in corpse acquisition, dismemberment, organ processing, and analysis. Our findings were that we discovered no disparities among related and similar and related species in high-low cryptis biological systems, aside from standard deviations related to overall structure or musculature. So, hypothesis unsupported. So there's no difference. Research in progress. Tentative, pending further autopsies, interrogations, and exploration. Part 2. Feeding patterns, dietary habits, their relation to cryptis stature. Part 3. The effect of cultural and societal factors on cryptis size and strength. Part 4. The impact of lineage and pedigree on cryptis power potential. Okay, this part 4 I think is the instructive bit. Now, I haven't played the Fractal yet. We got to do that in one of these videos. I haven't played the Fractal yet. But as far as I heard, in the Silent Surf, they talk about, like, demon families. And that there are, you know, there are different houses, essentially, and different hierarchies out there. And being, you know, of a certain pedigree, being in a certain family means very different things. So, I think the point that they're trying to say here is biologically, there's no real difference between the high and the low ones. But what will end up mattering is this, the impact of lineage and pedigree on their power potential. And I guess that will come out more in the next patch. Because we'll see, you know, demon, it doesn't mean one unified front. There can be different demons with different ambitions and different thoughts, feelings. Like, you can already see the voice in our head, Pather, already feels different maybe, or is manipulating us, one of those two. Certainly isn't totally in league with the other voices in our head. We've got this Ceres character, and then we have the king eparch. I don't know, guys, I can't find the fucking thing. Does anyone in chat know exactly where this book is that I'm looking for? You know, people often say to me, oh, WP, I wish there was an in-game, like, codex or library where all the books we read get, like, slotted away for our reading at leisure later. And that certainly has made sense when it comes to physical items that you click in the inventory and you lose them and they're not useful and they just become clutter and stuff. But normally I'm just like, yeah, that'll be right, but I'm kind of meh about it. But seriously, it would save a lot of time in situations like this, wouldn't it? I felt the same at the end of Dragons when we were looking at all the stuff about blood is power and the vampire lords with the celestial blessing and stuff. That book's in Amnitas? Is it? We didn't read a book in Amnitas, did we? The book is the first one I opened. The heavy book on the east side. What? The first one I opened today? The one I instinctively went to, but we read it and it wasn't in there. Are you sure you know the book I'm talking about? Oh, look, there's a Kraukatoriki thing there. Oh, the fact that there's a Kraukatoriki thing there ruins the Zaitan thing. Oh, it's gone. You guys saw that shit, right? There was definitely a rift in here a second ago. It's in a heavy book below the training ground, POI. The training platform? Is there also a training ground? I assume you mean training platform, but you never know with shit like this. So that's 2 people now saying that it is this same book. Okay, let me read it again. Whoop, not you. There are 2 heavy books in here.
Everything was damp and warm. Her voice was so piercing. My head is still...
We don't have to talk about it if you're not...
Oh yeah, it is here. It is this one. Didn't we come here? Oh yeah, we just spent more time on page 2. Okay, so, here's just a little detail I wanted to add. This thing about the Order of Verata.
Hurt anyone?
It seems that they were actually in league with the Wizard's Tower. So in Guild Wars 1, you didn't really know if they were in league with the Wizard's Tower or anything. The Wizard's Tower was like here, floating off, and we were like here, on a field. And you do the attribute quest with Galrath, and when you come back, there's a billion cultists of Verata there. And Verata was a character from pre-Searing, who, if you were a Minion Mancer Necro, taught you some Minion Mancer skills, very interested, but was essentially kind of like becoming outcast from society. Then the Searing happens, it's a 2-year time jump, and you don't know where Verata's gone. But you get the sense that they went off the deep end, they became an outcast, they went a bit crazy, right? And they were really interested in Minion Mancy and summoning and stuff like that. Anyway, you come here and there's a bunch of enemies, bad guys, the cultists of Verata, and you're fighting the cultists of Verata here. But they're all the while right next to the Wizard's Tower, and it's like the one main view you get, except for the one like at Fisherman's Haven or whatever. But so it really feels like they were somehow affiliated, and that's why, you know, back at my Guild Wars 2 mysteries from before Heart of Thorns, I said, hey, maybe Isgarin is Verata, maybe they're the same dude, you know, let's see what we think about this. Now, I played through Secrets Obscure, and I didn't find any references to the cult of the Order of Verata, I think is what they were called, the Order of Verata. I didn't find any references anywhere, so I didn't know if the lore had expanded on it or what. And I did yesterday's the previous part, and I was told, hey, it is there, you read it. And it's here, and it's kind of sneaky, but it's this section here. I'll just read it. The Vizier's dead, so Guild Wars 1 has ended, the saga has ended, and Dawn has broken once more. There was a day where Isgarin thought to get involved in these global affairs once Legavo, the Scepter of Ori, surfaced, but the ward's numbers are still weak following Epoch's last push during the Century of Darkness, hundreds of years, and we're still climbing out of that hole. For a long while, Isgarin suspected that Epoch was the one toying with the Vizier's mind. For that reason, we remained close to the situation. Wayfinder Azure. Now, in the previous part, I was like, I don't know who that is. Have we met them? And then I moved on. Became our eyes after the Searing forced us to move the Beacon of the Ages to the north, where I'm right now. Azure and the Order, led now by Sir Arderic. And I said, have we met Sir Arderic? Who's that? I think we went on some like half-jokey rant about that one. Have been our most frequent of allies, crossing paths pre- and post-Cataclysm. So when they say the Order there, that's who they're talking about, the Order of Verata. They're talking about these cultists, okay? And the reason we know this, okay, so Azure, back to pre-Searing, it's funny how they both relate to pre-Searing skill trainers, which is kind of funny. Back in pre-Searing, when you could go to the Wizard's Folly, so the other tower, if you were an Elementalist, so we're like here now, if you were an Elementalist, you got Elementalist skill quests at the Wizard's Tower, at the Folly, at the base of it. And there was an Elementalist there called, and I believe she taught you Firestorm as well, which is like super iconic for Elise. That was this character. That's who Azure is. So you couldn't, in Guild Wars 1, when you spoke to Azure, you couldn't ask her. I think it was a woman. I think she was in that amazing fiery armor, maybe. There was like a super special armor set, really weird, in Guild Wars 1. I think eventually players could wear it. Anyway, you could speak to her and, you know, she would tell you, oh, go fight these ice elementals. I'll give you some fire damage. You'll do extra damage because they're icy. And so off you go and you go do it. But you couldn't ask her about the tower. And the funny thing is, you know, we're so far back now as far as Guild Wars' development is concerned. There was no you just assumed she was a part of this tower, and this tower was like any other. Not that it was going to be something special 25 years down the line or whatever. Not 25 years, you get what I mean, right? Over a decade later. You didn't get any sense of any of that. You just thought, well, it's a tower. But then, of course, it goes missing. You can't visit it again, and so on and so on. I don't know whether Azure appeared post-Searing or like what we knew about Azure. just to be clear, a lot of those original characters, like the skill trainers from pre-Searing, have references in Guild Wars 2. Like, you learn their fate. For example, if you play the Ascon Catacombs dungeon, you know, there's like those twin... I think all the... You know, sorry, if in story mode, there's like a bunch of bosses. There's the twin Necromancer bosses, there's the Ranger boss. They're all skill trainers from Guild Wars 1, all of them. But not all of them make it. Verata, for example, is nowhere to be seen. What happened to Verata? Well, maybe it's something to do with the Wizard's Tower. Exciting. I don't know. There's no Ellie boss in there, so I don't think you fight Azure. But then there are, like, graves you can interact with, so I don't know whether we, before Secrets of the Obscure, heard what happened to Azure. Or Azure. I don't know how we say her name. I'm pretty sure it's her. But anyway, so, all of this in mind now, it becomes very clear that when they say the Order... that they're talking about the Verata Order. But here they say it's led by Sir Ardaric. And what's curious about this is the Order were bad guys, right? You do fight them. I'm not misremembering this shit. Right, they were enemies, weren't they, at Keswick's Peak? Can you even go there in, like, the hard mode quests and they were, after you kill Galrath or something, and they were, like, extra deadly or something? So... This is really, really interesting to me. Who's Sir Ardaric? Sir Ardaric isn't the guy in Lion's Arch that gives you... Sorry, Lion's Arch, I guess. He's not the guy that gives you the quest to go kill Galrath, is he? He's not the dude standing at the top of the stairs. I feel like he's a Lion's Arch NPC as well. But why is the Order no longer led by Verata? Does this Verata stuff explain why Galrath isn't dead? Kind of. You're going to see it in the next map. You can ask Galrath, hey, are you awakened? What's up? And he's going to be cagey about it. So this is just one of those things as well where you kind of... there's something unsettling about Sutu. Because they haven't been concrete about Verata at all. And they're concrete about a lot of stuff, you know? Like, the whole thing with the Scepter of Ore moving at the end of the Prophecies cutscene? They're pretty concrete about that. They're like, okay, here's the answer. And they're concrete about a lot of stuff, but with Verata, he's just, like, slightly out... Like, if you're going to go so far as to actually talk about the Order and confirm that the Wizards actually were in alliance with them, I mean, that's also kind of sinister as well. Put that another thing on the chalkboard for the Wizards' Court seem a bit dodgy, right? That as well seems to be there, and like Galrath's involvement in the story, but they just don't quite give you the full detail. I wonder, okay, whether this is what's happening here. For years, nerds like me have thought, oh, Verata must be associated with the Wizard's Tower, and I wonder if what ArenaNet are doing here is they're saying, no, he's not, sorry, but there is still a reason to be interested in him. His fate is still unknown. There is still a bit of a mystery. We have another idea for him. And that's why Sutu is cagey. And what's the other idea? Well, of course, he's going to be in affiliation with one of the vampire lords in Janthir, right? So, I don't know. That's kind of what's going through my head with this. I could be completely wrong, but that's kind of what I'm thinking. Okay, oh, brilliant. Oh, this is so good. Yeah, guys, listen. If you are like, you know, in like spy movies, you got the guy in the earpiece who's like doing all the research or whatever. So Paradaxon says, wikis for both games don't return any NPCs named Ardaric. Okay, so Ardaric is a totally new thing. Now, he's Sir Ardaric, which is also kind of interesting because that would mean he's a knight. What do we know of the Knights of Kryta during the White Mantle's reign? I don't know. There were White Mantle Knights. Is it possible he was a White Mantle Knight? Or he could have been Ascalonian, or he could have become a knight after Salma took the throne. Anyway, the only mentions are from books from this expansion. There's a second mention in Amnitas. Oh, really? We're going to hear about Sir Ardaric again in Amnitas. That's very curious. So, yeah, and what about Azure? Does anything come up on Wiki for Azure beyond their appearance in pre-Searing as a skill trainer? Like, do we hear... Because, just to be clear, a lot of those NPCs, you get their fate because, yes, they might have a Guild Wars 2 reference, but also just post-searing. A lot of people die in the searing. And ArenaNet were really good about being like, okay, this NPC's dead, this NPC's done this were really, really good. It's actually one of the most amazing things for me to hear, like, speaking with the devs, when they say, like, oh, pre-searing was just like a tack-on. Like, really late in the day we made pre-searing, because the game was a bit depressing at the start, so we made You look at how much detail is in pre-searing, how many quests are in pre-searing, and how coherently it translates into It's so good. It was like the best thing, really. The whole pre-searing thing really inspires me. With my little fan MMO thing, I have like such a big pre-searing concept in there. It's unreal. Anyway, Guild Wars 1 wiki lists Kasha Blackblood, Necromancer Morgan, Elementalist Azure, Verata the Necromancer, and Oberyn the Reviled are all members of the Order. Are they? What? How's that confirmed? I guess all the Necro skill trainers are all members of the Order? What's the thing? When they say the Order, do they... Is that what Verata got kicked out of? Oh, hold on, am I getting this wrong? Is the idea that the Order is like, you know, an alliance, a coalition of spellcasters in Ascalon, pre-searing, and Verata got kicked out of that and made a cult of his own? And it's the cultists we see here, but in this document they're talking about the Order, the Ascalon Order, which were good guys, and then therefore that would track with why the Wizard's Court was associating with them, and would track with why it's mentioned in league with Azure there. I don't think this is talking about Verata at all now. It might be worth checking out the modified dates on some wiki stuff. That's a good point. Yeah, hold on. I think that they're just talking about the Ascalon Order of Spellcasters. I don't think they're talking about Verata's cult. And Sir Arderic, because we're dealing with Ascalon. That's why there's a Sir Arderic there. Yeah, I don't think that they're talking about Verata here. I think they're talking about the Ascalon Spellcasters. Like, little society thing. The Order... Okay, I'm going to go to the wiki myself. The reason I've been resisting it is because I don't really have OBS set up in such a way that you can browse the internet with me. I'll put it on screen, so I want to resist doing this as much as possible. But I'm going to go to the Guild Wars 1 wiki and see what their sources are for some of the stuff that they're talking about here. Okay, so on the Guild Wars 1 wiki, they are saying the Order, commonly mentioned by various Ascalonian necros, although it isn't given any other name than the Order. It's likely the Order, that the predominant necromancer organization in Ascalon, most known as most prominent Ascalonian necromancers are currently or were formerly members. More than just necromancers are in the Order, however, at least one elementalist is in it. That's apparently Azure. Now, why do we know that? Let me go to Azure's page and see if they mention the Order in their dialogue. Yeah, they do. In the Wizard's Folly, their default introductory dialogue is time, life, truth. Do you bring the Order new knowledge of any of these things? Okay, so yeah, Azure was associated with this Necro group. It is hinted at in the quest, The Renegade Necromancer, that the Order is around to prevent the abuse of necromancy. Elementalist Azure's dialogue and the quest, The Elementalist Experiment, implies that they took time, life, truth. Okay, yeah. Yeah, it's this new thing that I've just explained, it's that. It's, Verata got kicked out of this Order. He forms his own guild, the Cult of Verata. Yeah, because I kept calling it a cult, not an order, and then when I heard the word Order, I was like, fuck, have I been getting that wrong? So hopefully that's clear to everyone now, what the story is here. The Wizard's Tower was never in alliance with the cultists. That doesn't really explain why Verata took his cult right next to the tower, which is quite interesting. Maybe Verata gets kicked out because he goes... Basically, you've got this Order of Necros. One of them, Verata, is going too far with his experiments. He gets kicked out. He forms his own cult. Later, after the searing, we find he's in Crater next to the Wizard's Tower. And now, in Secrets of the Obscure, they reveal to us that the people in the tower were allies with the Order, but not with Verata. So, did Verata come here because he's pissed? And he's thinking to himself, fuck you, like, let me in, let me figure this stuff out, I want your secrets? He too wanted the secrets of the obscure. Maybe that's the suggestion there. But again, it's the same. So now that we're clear that that's what they mean when they say the Order, they're not talking about Verata. They're talking about Verata's former group, the good guys. Okay, but now that we have established that, we're still in the same kind of position where Verata's story itself is not really illustrated here. And it's like, okay, so they're not being concrete about that guy. They're dancing around that guy. They're making me think about that guy, but they're not giving me anything on that guy. So is there a reason for that? That's kind of what I'm thinking there. Alright, so there you go. That's what I wanted to return to. And we've gone on a real roller coaster there. We've had our ups and we've had our downs, but hopefully that all makes sense. I'm just constantly insecure imagining, like, a person who's only vaguely following along with this, and I've explained it terribly, but I don't know, I'm just going to be repeating myself, so there you go. Alright, let's do an adventure, okay? Let's get some gameplay in here. Let's do the one fly by night. Is it nighttime? It's dusk, which means it's nearly nighttime, so good, we can go. Might also mean there's some special fish to get in the expansion. Probably not, actually. We did scroll over it, unless Amnitas has some good ones. You know, there's a way of doing this series where I go back and I actually get all the fish right now. Before we move on to map 2, we do everything, you know. But I think we do want to forge ahead. We want to get the main story done so that I stop having to be cagey about, like, upcoming details and stuff. We all need Cossage. I mean, we all have the wiki, and the wikis are phenomenal, so... Oh, there is a book that explains Verata near the tower. It's called Known Incursion Attempts Volume 3. Sort of. Really? Did we not read that already?
Ugh, too much wild magic in the air.
I guess, based on the title of that book, it's that means that there's that shows... Verata trying to get in. Never fails. You cast this many spells in a day, you get coalesced magic by night. Any chance you'd be willing to help clear it out? Okay, how can I help? We'll take one of your mounts, fly into the coalesced magic to snatch it up. Sky Scales love it. Seems to give them extra energy and help them fly longer. That's cool. That's consistent with Dragonstorm. Not Dragonstorm, Dragonfall. What's coalesced magic? Wasted energy from badly cast spells. It's harmless, but it makes doing proper work that much harder. Usually the hunter trainees would feed it to their Sky Scales to practice flying. But they're occupied. Oh, they're doing the books! That's so cool. Did you guys know that? Let me fly after them. In Cormier's library, they swapped the bird animation for flying books. True stroke of genius. And bringing them back here in the Wizard's Tower is so good. You couldn't fly alongside them before either because it was an instance. Oh, no, you could, I guess. Mounts were allowed in there. Anyway, there you have it. I guess it just predated the Sky Scale, so I never did it. This idea of excess magic is new to me, but alright, here we go. So, lifetime. Where's Boots? We don't get to see yet. There we go. I don't even see him on there. Alright.
Take that Sky Scale of yours and have it gobble up some
Oh my god, no. It's one of these ones. I really don't like this kind of adventure. It's just routing, right? It's just pathing. Oh my god, and I don't have my descend keybind. Oh, no I do, apparently. Just had to press it really hard. Yeah, I thought this was going to be another shooting one, which are really goddamn cool. Hold on, did I end up doing that on this video series, or did I do that in a video of Boots? Or did I think I did both actually, didn't I? Did he ever put up our dogfight? He was fairly iffy about doing it at all, to be honest. I wouldn't blame him if he doesn't. The main thing I really wanted from that was the world versus world discussion, which I also rambled about here. I had a really cool comment from someone saying, oh, WP, this is the coolest idea ever, but, you know, it's world versus world, they don't like any change, they complained about EOTM, they complained about the Desert Borderlands, they complained about the Warclaw, oh god. And, you know, I kind of get it. I've had my own jokey little rants about that before. This is really bad here, just gonna say. How many do I need? I only have 12 seconds remaining. Oh, I'm going to miss gold. I say that very enthusiastically and happily. We could be dashing more, I guess. Oh, one more! Oh, so close. I think I just needed that last one. All right, let's start dashing and see what we got.
Take that Sky Scale of yours and have it gobble.
I'm going to try and stay high. Oh god, that queued up really early. Thing is, I don't want to dash through them too far, you know. This is cool, man. Imagine if we had a whole Zerg. I turned my tag off because, you know, there's not really any need to have lots of players here. We're not doing metas or anything. Imagine having a whole Zerg here, though, and everyone goes different directions. I say that like that would be amazingly cinematic, but let's be honest. The amount of Skyscale spam in the game these days is unbelievable. What map is it that I've been playing lately, and it's just almost impossible to see what's going on because of all the Skyscales everywhere? What is it? There's something in Guild Wars, it's just unbelievable. You know, I mentioned in the previous part having some just ambient Skyscales not mounted, just flying around. Be cool if some of them were here. I guess this is only up at night time though. Oh god. We can use our endurance if we need more height. Hey, we're doing pretty good here. Is it possible to get all of them, do you guys think? No, 35 was for gold. We've still got 6 seconds. Oh, there's a bunch in the middle that I've missed. 1 second. Oh, there you go. Okay, we got 42. Oh my god, Boots has had 49 of them. Hold on, are there only 49? No, sorry, he's 49th place. He's had 46. Oh, so we're only a couple away from his best time so far. And he's 49th lifetime. That's pretty interesting. So, for what it's worth, I looked at the Wizard's Tower, like what achievements there are left for me to get here, and it seems like very much most of these achievements are just the adventures.
Statistically speaking, this is rather rare.
So we just dinged a bunch there, thankfully, happily. Okay, so that's an adventure. That's an event with the portal thing that we did before. Now, there's actually a separate island floating off from the Wizard's Tower, and that stuff's so cool. I'm going to go over and do that now. But there's a POI below us as well that we've never seen. I think this whole area here we didn't really explore very closely before. Like that Urchic dialogue that just played a second ago. That's Mosaic Wrath. We've read that before.
Might consider sending another squad to Ascalon until the rift slowed down.
Okay, Frode. I think we heard him say that. Did we speak to this lady? This is the way to Waiting Sorry's quarters. Yeah, we did.
I don't need an inspection.
Hold still. For me.
I am perfectly functional and healthy, thank you.
Remember what happened after Lear's little stunt in the underworld? You're getting older, and
When you crawl through the Twin Serpent Mountains just to appease a wizard's curiosity, that's when you can call me old.
Sit still.
Twin Serpent Mountains. Was that a map in Guild Wars 1 near the Snake Dance or something? Twin Serpent Mountains. Why is that? Or was it called the Twin Serpent Corridor? I gotta wiki that. Twin Serpent. That is a thing. Is that in the Underworld? Twin Serpent Lakes. Oh, that's in Kryta. That's weird. They're calling them the Twin Serpent Mountains now. Yeah, Twin Serpent Lakes was just a map. Actually, very near where you could see the Wizard's Tower from in Guild Wars 1. It was like here. Near Fisherman's Haven, which I mentioned a second ago. And when you looked out to the right, you could see the Wizard's Tower. Twin Serpent Mountains, though. Do we believe that maybe this... Oh, in Guild Wars 1, there was like a snow-capped mountain drawn on the world map around here. Maybe we call that it. Maybe that's Mount Maelstrom, another name for it. It is ultimately all Asura areas. It is in the Underworld. Oh, is it? Twin Serpent Lake and Twin Serpent Mountains? Let me have a look. Oh, you're right. Yeah, it is. It's in the Underworld. Yes. Okay, there's a wiki page and it's in the Underworld as well. Oh, that's very cool. So she's been to the Underworld. Yeah, so that place, guys, I've mentioned that a few times in passing, but it's essentially like these giant, like, serpentine, petrified dragons, like, weaving in and out of all the rocks out there. Yeah, something about that made me think immediately Underworld. I'm glad I said it out loud. That's funny that there's both a Twin Serpent Lake and a Twin Serpent Mountain. There's a lost journal here. Okay, so this is a reflection of Living World Season 3, when Lazarus came back and died. And, you know, we already talked a bit about this. That it's a bit of an ass pull, really. To suggest that Livia knew the whole time, that Mabon would do nothing, you know. So the more that they talk about it, the more they justify it, the better. And that's exactly what this book is here. I've read this one before, I must say, but off screen. So 1330 AE. And we can literally go to our story journals and we can see Season 3 started, 1330 was here with the head of the snake. And he died here in One Path Ends, 1330. Lazarus is dead. A ripple passed through the veil when it happened. I felt both acutely self-aware and overcome with the unshakable sensation that I had forgotten to do something. Nothing... Oh, wow, hold on. Let me reread this a little bit more slowly. I felt both acutely self-aware and overcome with the unshakable sensation that I had forgotten to do something. As in intervene, do something about it. Nothing that would alter time or fate, but something that would be disappointing should I remember the task. It shook me in a gentle way, reminding me of, or lightly threatening me with, what I left behind. Before I could question it, Lady Livia delivered the news. Maybe I haven't read this. I don't remember this. Hold on. So what is this telling me? That he has unfinished business with the Massat that he could have resolved with Lazarus. There was probably something he should have talked to Lazarus about. But since he's ascended, he's kind of forgotten those details. And there's a bit of emotion lingering there, but he doesn't really know what it's getting at. This idea that people still have like these pulls and these emotions and these sensations about their past lives, even when the knowledge itself is gone, is really interesting, especially when paired with a story about demons who feed on emotions and enjoy emotions and stuff. That's a very rich kind of idea. I hope that the story over the next 3 patches can dig something cool out of it. So Lady Livia delivered the news. I like this touch, that it was her that mentioned to Mabon and said, hey, Lazarus is dead. Because again, they round it out more and it makes it feel like less of an asshole, you know. Thousands of years of watching us die out. And I am the only Massat in Tyria. Okay, so, hold on. In the other document, there was something about him going to Janthir and casting like a ward or something. What was the word they used? It wasn't veil. I'm pretty sure whenever we see the word veil, they're specifically talking about the thing that the World Spire conjures. But he talked about like creating a ward or something at Janthir. And I was wondering if that meant that he was sealing off the Massat from us over there or something. But you know, I'm beginning to believe that really what happened here is a bunch of Massat lived here. They fucked with a bloodstone or something and nuked themselves. Because remember, this bloodstone explosion was not too big. It was still insane, but it was not too big because Balthazar drank the magic. What if there's no god to drink the magic? You just destroy the whole place. And then maybe Mabon goes there and he sees all the damage and he's like, okay, we gotta shield this damage away, separate it away. But ultimately, the Massat that were there are dead. And the only 2 left are him and Lazarus. Cue this, and now Lazarus is dead. It's funny, we keep flirting with this idea of the last Massat, and then they go away, and then, oh, it's the last Massat, and then they go away. Because we did that in Guild Wars 1, then we did it with Lazarus, we're doing it with Mabon, and if in the future there's a bunch of stuff about a load of Massat in the Mists, Naos, or elsewhere, we'll be doing it again. So, there was something he felt like he should do. I wonder, the whole epilogue is a Massat and stuff ideas might... reminded me of, or lightning threatening me, what I'd left behind. Before I could question it, Lady Livia delivered the news. Thousands of years of watching us die out, and I am the only Massat left in Tyria. The pit in my gut holds little remorse. That part of me died long, long ago, back when the tower was inhabited by myself, Isgarin, and his ideas. To me, Lazarus was the last. Hold on. So, these were the first 2. Isgarin and Mabon were the first 2. See, again, this is another one of those things where I'd really like a concrete timeline. That suggests that they were the first 2. It doesn't say it outright, but essentially that's what it's saying, right? Oh, no. Actually, no, it's not. It's saying the Wizard's Tower, once upon a time, only had these 2. But they might have had other members of the court stationed in other buildings. It's just that here was just them. To me, Lazarus was the last. I felt the eye one last time in those flickering moments before it evaporated. The eye of Janthir. before it evaporated from reality to follow the final Masat. Never successful in its attempt to find me, although it had come close from time to time. Yeah, hold on. Wasn't there another little plot-holey detail, which was that the Eye of Janthir would seek out the Masat or something? Was that a thing? Why was the Eye of Janthir in that episode? Episode 6, right, is kind of representative of a lot of Guild Wars storytelling throughout the years in Guild Wars 2, where it's like they've got all these cool fucking stories and they're desperate to tell them, but they don't have the time, but they try anyway, you know? Like, the Primordus arc is the same, Episode 3 is the same. These are really cool things you're dealing with, you know? Primordus blowing up Anvil Rock and going out in a crazy 1v1 with another Elder Dragon. You know, on paper, these are amazing ideas, and I can understand anyone's enthusiasm to tell these stories, but when you get 20 minutes of screen time for that Primordus story, or you get, you know, one patch, essentially a handful of instances for the Lazarus stuff, you know, it becomes folly to bring all these things back, but then you get people whining online that they're never doing any of the fun stories, and it's just as crazy, right? But, yeah, I don't know whether the Eye of Janthir should have been in that patch. It essentially was a conduit to give us a vision of the desert, but we could have heard about the desert in a million different ways. I won't deny being hyped about it, but to see it for 2 seconds and then have it leave. But I can't remember why it was there. Didn't we follow it into Abaddon's Reliquary? Why did it all take place in Abaddon's Reliquary as well? I mean, it's an amazing setting. Was he trying to get the eye out of it? I don't know what the fuck. Why would the eye be in Abaddon's Reliquary? The Masat were using it actively years after the Exodus. Kossi says, it was also weird how in episode 3 of season 3, Rox claimed that Cordicus was headed for the Eye of Janthir. That's true, yeah! Fuck, I forgot about that! That's true! Rox did say that. I remember being so excited about that way back when as well. You could say, oh, there was no payoff to that, but I mean, it was a hint that Masati things were going to become relevant soon. There's actually, I've said this before, and I've got in arguments with people over this before, but there's actually a few decent hints in Season 3 if you look closely enough, but I mean like real fucking close. There was a book in the head of the snake, was it? So hold on, what did Cordicus find in Janthir then? Anything? I mean, he died pretty quick. Cordicus is another example. Season 3 was full of this shit. And again, I get to sit here in hindsight and whine about it. You know. Ugh, I love the Guild Wars story so much. I just want more time with it, you know. Imagine if Season 3 was like a full-fledged fucking RPG. It was a 40-hour-long campaign with side quests and lots to like dig into. Imagine that. Imagine all the stuff that happened in Season 3. It would have worked so well. But it goes by in such a flash because of the living world format that, you know, you don't really get the time to, you know, it feels like a mess, really. It's so weird. We're in a whole new format here now. I hope these next 3 patches go well. I can't see why they'd be any different to the classic Living World issues, though. The thing is, I mean, oh, well, whatever. We're going to get way too distracted here. Let's finish this. So, the Eye of Janthir... Why did the Eye of Janthir not come to find Mabon? Is it because... here's why. Here's why. And I would have loved to have read Mabon speculate this, just to make it a little bit more concrete. Mabon isn't a Masat really anymore, because his whole characterization's different, his memory... You know, he has these memories of blood. It sounds like he was a bastard in his past life. There was love there, but there was also a lot of fucked up stuff there. You know? He said so himself in that other journal. And so, now he's lost all of that. He's not a Masat. The Eye of Janthir, you know, physiologically he may feel somewhat like one, but magically, or, you know, spiritually. And the Eye of Janthir looks beyond the mundane. It looks beyond physiology. It looks to magical potential and so on. And it doesn't recognize a Masat in him anymore. It doesn't see a Masat in his soul. So that's why it left. And again, this is what we're doing, is we're inventing reasons to explain plot holes. But, you know. But again, I don't really even remember this detail of the eye seeking Masat out. Did it seek Lazarus out? I really can't remember how that went. Given how these books say that Mabon cast a ward around Janthir. It is ward, right, that they said. Perhaps Caudicus couldn't get in because of it. Yeah, that's a bit... That's fine, but then it's a really weird detail in Season 3, isn't it? That clearly was about something else at some point. Because now it's like, you know, that's the kind of thing that happens in, like, long-running TV shows, you know? You look back and you're like, oh, what was this about? I guess he just turned around and came home. So why talk about it in the first place? You know, because they're inventing as they go along. Season 3 should have just had a real Lazarus v Caudicus plot. No need for Balthazar. Yeah, I mean, I think that the writers were really smart, though, in Season 3, okay? If it's already, like, locked in that you want to have a Balthazar... If you want to do Dragon v God v Lich, okay? That's amazing. And you've set... Heart of Thorns just ended, and you're like, okay, let's do it. That is cool as shit. And you also want to do Massart stuff, because you've just seen the community go ballistic over the Exalted. And you're like, okay, alright, so Season 3 has to segue us into Balthazar, but also we want it to be about the Civil War and we want it to be about Massart. Here's how we can do both. What if Balthazar hides as a Massart? Like, no one's going to hear that at a meeting and be like, that's terrible. That sounds great. It's efficient, and it's a brilliant idea. It's a cool mystery. It all sounds good. It's only in hindsight these things turned out to be a mess, you know? And not a total mess, but until shit about the Balthazar's characterization and the Mirror of Lyssa and all that shit, until that is out in the game, I'm still going to call it an unfinished story. And an unfinished story is a messy story. Generally. Just killing one Massart is too small a story for 6 chapters. Yeah, I agree with that as well, actually. I think that Guild Wars 2... And I have no problems with this, but Guild Wars 2 really redefined the Massart. Well, did it? No, they were pretty godly in Guild Wars 1 as well. But you were killing loads of them in Guild Wars 1. I don't know. Apples to oranges, maybe. But I will agree, one death of one Massart for an entire season is too small. But the Civil War... Look, I believe a war is about... You can about get that into a Living World season. For example, the Char Civil War, 6 episodes on it. Not 2. One map that gives it given in 2 with Drizzlewood. No. 6 episodes, a year and a half of storytelling. Maybe you can get the Char Civil War. Maybe. I don't know, though. This is so difficult to talk about because a big part of me just wants to say, oh, no, it really needs to be in an expansion. But then Living World was rivaling expansion quality quite often. It's why I say that Season 4 is very good. But Season 4 demonstrated you can do a story in just 3 episodes. If you really look at Season 4, guys, the Kralkatorrik shit, it's 3 episodes. It's Jahai, it's Thunderhead, it's Dragonfall. And they told that story really well. The death of Kralkatorrik is the best Elder Dragon death arc in the game. Suwon maybe is better. You might be able to say that Suwon's better. I think that's going to come down to personal preference. But I'm talking about 3 personal story things there, and I think that in many respects it beats Zaitan. Not in terms of scale and depth. Zaitan in... The only ways in which the Kralkatorrik's death failed are the ways that Zaitan and the core story didn't. But, you know, what you want is one story with both. You want the Zaitan length and scope, but you want the Kralkatorrik quality. You know, that therein is a beautiful Guild Wars 2. Anyway, that wasn't many episodes. That was only 3 episodes. But then that same season, you have Joko in 3 episodes. But that felt like way too little. I don't know. And I hated the Char Civil War in retrospect. Stuff in the Ice Bridge Saga. Season 3 felt like a mess. Season 2 actually is really good as well, by the way, in terms of pacing. I think Season 2 comes off extremely well. Really, really good pace and lots of time to explore things and reflect on what we've just left with Season 1 and to continue along. And it's such a fucking shame that immediately that all comes to an end with Heart of Thorns and the Fate of the Pale Tree and no Nightmare Court and no Foul Lane and no Malik, and it's just suddenly everything's empty again, but, you know. Oh, well, we're really all over the place here, aren't we, guys? Hey, we had a donation. Crow, thank you very much. That's really nice. Hey, WP, I just wanted to say thank you. I'm Able to stream with no frame loss again, thanks to your comment on the OBS dynamic bitrate thing. Yes! It's good, right? It's good. I mean, that should just be a default option. I'm really glad that someone else got some help there, because that took a little bit of Googling. It's a new thing that they've put in. It's technically a beta feature, but it's working very well for me. How is this an hour and a half long? We've done an adventure and read like two things. What? Progmag Primordis Death Best. Alright, yeah, that is a bannable offence, Jones. You can't come into this chat and say that. You just can't, alright? I have very few rules, and that's one of them. You're not to praise the defeat of Primordis. Speaking of which, there is a nod to that in this expansion that I can't wait to get to. Okay. Is there anything else for us to read here? There was something I was going to say, and now we've just gone way off of it. Whether my ascension... His speculation as to why that I didn't seek him out was whether my ascension painted my aura neutral or the spire's gentle buzz shielded me from sight. I'll never know, but now I don't need to. I wonder if they know. Oh, what a great final fucking sentence that is. Interrogative. I wonder if they know. Is he referring to the collection of Massart outside of Tyria? Do they know that that's it now? Tyria's fucked? Their Tyrian equivalents are fucked? Or, here's even better, he's talking about her. The woman from his dreams that we heard about in that other thing. I think he's talking about her. The old flame that will forever be... There's this... If you guys have ever seen the movie Her, you know, about the Joaquin Phoenix falls in love with a PC, it's an amazing movie. It's such a powerful movie. Like, the final scene, he, like, writes a letter to his... It's actually about a man going through a divorce, realistically, and he has a fling as he goes through a divorce. And it ends with him, like, basically saying goodbye and finally getting over his ex. And there's this really beautiful line in there where he says... They're parted ways, they're split up, they will never see each other again. But he says, a part of you will live in me always, and I'm grateful for that. It's such a lovely line. I really have always really loved that. And that's kind of what this whole Ascension, but I remember an old flame thing with Mabon thing makes me think about. Her with the golden mask is Lissa? Oh, no, let's not do that. Let's just have a love story. It doesn't have to be baked in all this lore shit, you know. It can just be beautiful without it being Lissa. For the one time, I'm going to say, let's not do Lissa. So far, you like Mabon? Yeah, I really like Mabon as well. And it's funny. Coming out of End of Dragons, I was feeling a bit like, oh man, ArenaNet keep taking cool stuff and then making them like lame and happy and nice and sweet. And it's like, you know, I was looking forward to going to Cantha dominated by purists, and I was looking forward to like badass independent Tengu that take no shit and stuff. You know, I'm basically just looking for edgy stuff all the time. And in End of Dragons, almost anything I thought, oh, this will be cool or this will be interesting. It turned out they were just like, no, we're really utopian and happy, and like I just kind of wasn't getting it. And if you tell me on paper, oh, there's a Massart in Secrets of the Obscure, but he's really nice, I probably would have been like, oh, of course. But to play through it, I really like Mabon. I basically like everything about the vibe of this expansion. And what I said there, by the way, I'm probably in the wrong with a lot of that stuff. You can't be too grim and too fucking, like, edgelord all the time, right? That's obviously a mistake. You have to have the up and the yin and the yang.
Right. He was right there. I could have grabbed him and brought him to a healer. Hey, look at me. Couldn't even make out his last words. His face was blue. Eyes wide open and bloodshot as if he choked himself.
See, look, there's some grim shit.
Let's get cleaned up and find a hot meal. We can mourn when the cryptids are dealt with. Promise. Okay. Yeah. You're right.
Okay, right. We have another adventure to do. We've got that island to go to. I want to explore down as well. So we already explored up. We did the Zaitan portal thing. All of that's all good. So what we got here? The Skyscale Stables. Bunch more constructs. Are there going to be any book? I mean, these are probably going to be a bit boring because it's sky scale. But by the way, as uninteresting as the sky scales are, I really like they're part of this expansion, just in as much as it connects back to Dragonfall, which again it feels like such a major moment for this world. You know, like that criticism of the MCU lately, where it's like big shit happens and then no one talks about it. You know, like if you guys watched the movie The Eternals, which was not one of their most successful properties, so will they come back, blah, 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 are they going to get referenced much, blah, blah, blah. You know, in that movie, there's like a mountain range sized like body appears on the planet.
Well fed and rested, not a scratch on her.
Like, it's crazy shit, and then they just never talk about it, you know? There's, like, tiny Easter eggs. Dragonfall is like that for Tyria, you know? It's like, what the fuck? Look at this! Are we going to expand this in terms of equivalent size in lore? We're talking about, like, a region rivaling on the size of Kryta, large swathes of Kryta, and it's been dumped into the water here. You know, we talked about tidal waves ripping everything apart with ore. What about this? This is crazy! And, you know, the sky scales are a big part of this appearing here. So having them in Secrets of the Obscure is nice, you know. In fact, I would really like a little bit more conversation about the fragments of Melanju's realm, like the sprites and shit. Or like some of the undead here from the underworld, or some of the Fissure of Woe denizens. You know, how unlikely is it that some of the Shadow Army rally here, build some boats and go off sailing or something, you know? Like, I don't know. But we just don't hear anything about it. So it's nice, you know, from a practical standpoint, we all know why sky scales from this expansion, because they wanted to do a floating island thing. They wanted to address this serious issue with the game where veterans have sky scales and new people don't, and it's this big imbalance. You know, there's a lot of very real reasons sky scales are here. But for the lore, it services the lore quite well as well, I think. Alright. Oh my god, a centaur. He's a scholar of balance mentor. Talk to me about Ventari. Do you know what I'm really sad about with the elite specs thing, guys? More than anything else, the loss of the elite specs. No more legends to speculate about for revs, you know? That was always the most fun thing, I think, for me, when it came to speculating about new elite specs. Always thinking about new legends. Okay, so the Wizard's Trial. This is an adventure. I've done this. I've been ranting and raving about this as far as Boots is concerned in a great many episodes. So let's have a look. He's already done his part on this. There's a race version of this that sometimes pops and it's like annoying, I think, apparently, which is why this solo mode is here. But we'll try this out. I've actually already done this. Like, I did this on like day 1 of the expansion, I must be honest. I do apologize, guys. So the top guy on my friends list right now has done it in a minute, which is really fast and must have included some shenanigans. But speaking of shenanigans, let me put a pin in that and I'll tell you guys some cool stuff about the shenanigans that are/aren't possible. Oh god, wow, I didn't even mean to glide there. By the way, yeah, our armor changes. I can't wait to get this. Just to be clear in chat, is this really difficult to get, the Astral Ward stuff? Because I really like it, and isn't this essentially precursor Obsidian stuff? I hope that doesn't necessarily define the way that it all ends up looking. So there must be some technique to that chamber, but I don't really know what it is to just clear it straight away. If you get the timing right, do you think you can cross them all at once? Not sure. Anyway, so then this room, you've got this panel back here, and the icons keep swapping. Now, if you jump to a platform that the icon isn't lit up, it has no collision. But when it is lit up, it has collision, you see? So when that goes away, I fall. So the game is to navigate while always watching the back and knowing what's going to come up next. So squares are okay right now. Diamonds. This is great music here. Another diamond and we're across. I'm going slow because I'm explaining as we go. And then this is a good room. Again, I don't really know what the technique's meant to be. I don't know if you can go like tip to tip. Does that make sense? This is great music. Like this jump here, that jump, like that. I don't know whether that's possible. Okay, and then when you come through, I was a bit disappointed. I was loving this adventure. I thought it was the coolest shit ever. But then I was like, oh, we're in the same room again. It's just the same thing again. And I thought that was a bit disappointing. Like, oh, I thought they were going to do individual chambers each time. And now they sort of ran out of space, as it were, or whatever. But actually, then I realised something, because then we come through and it's like, well, what will my next challenge be? Is it going to be the same thing again? And it is the same thing again. But what's actually happening here is, if you look, it's the same room every time. We're just climbing higher and higher. And that functionally doesn't mean anything, really. I still had the same experience 3 times in a row. But the realisation that I'm just climbing up this one room this time makes it all seem okay. I don't know why, but now I'm like, oh yeah, I like it. So there you go. That's actually gold, believe it or not, even though I was just standing around chatting. And my time there was 2 minutes 18. Boots has done it in 40 seconds. Okay, so speaking of Boots, usually with these there's like tricks you can do, like you could use a Canthan personal waypoint here at the end, for example. And then you can go into start the adventure, and then you can just double click the waypoint and skip one of the checkpoints, for example. So one of these chambers you wouldn't have to do. You'd still have to get to all the other ones, but then maybe you use the portable position rewinder, if I still have it in one of my slots. You know, then maybe that skips another room, maybe an ally portals you, maybe, you know, you give yourself super speed before you go in and that lets you get through. There's loads of tricks, okay? And in Boots' adventure series, he's basically been talking about all those tricks. And this one in particular, the waypoint one, is like a major issue, and it hasn't been nerfed out of any of the old adventures. It looked like an oversight, basically, from the studio. And so coming into Secrets of the Obscure, I just assumed this would work as well. But this is nerfed now, Boots said. A lot of the tricks are nerfed. It's like the devs knew now, oh, this is a thing, this is a thing, and they like hammered it all out, which is great, you know. So it's more fair, and there's not like essentially these cheats or whatever. And it's like, wow, so they're really watching very closely. And then I realised, or you will realise at the end of this adventure, there are these boots here. Boots showed these to me when we did our Sky Scale dogfight together. And when you interact, it says, looks like someone left a pair of boots. Boots actually has a reference in game now, and they're like wellies, I guess. Only someone who's been watching this series would know that this is a thing. And so to join these two topics together, I think basically what's happened is the devs are watching his series and know the tricks because of his series, and so these new Secrets of the Obscure ones are better than any of the others because they've actually had this stuff removed. And I guess what the devs are also implicitly saying therefore is they don't want to nerf the old ones because I guess people already got times and they don't want to reset the leaderboards or something. So, you know, if those tricks work, then they just work forever, and they have no interest in actually fixing, air quotes, those. But new ones they implement, then they're watching them out. But yeah, so he's had devs watching his stuff, and how cool is that? And that's what these little pair of boots is. When I played this myself, I missed these completely. It was only when Boots said. And he himself apparently missed it too. He said to me that, you know, he came here, he did this, he played, and then he had a comment on his YouTube channel. Someone said, oh, did you see the boots? And he was like, what? So yeah, really, really cool. And yeah, and he's already done how he got that 40 seconds. You can see it online. You can see his video. Yeah, I got a reference around Heart of Thorns, which is kind of a weird one. My channel, you know, the 3 potato icon, you can probably see it on the bottom right at the moment. I used to, what I actually did was I just went to Google for the first few years, and I just got a picture of some wooden potatoes off of Google, and it was, so it was a very similar composition. It was 3 potatoes, but they were real. It was like a photo. And it was cropped, and they were in a very specific way. And then later I met a lovely person, and she made a bunch of fan art, and she did a bunch of the art for one of the Law series episodes, and she did me the new 3 potatoes, which I've used forevermore, and now is like, you know, the brand or whatever. But anyway, the Maguma Burl is based on the original, which I'd moved on from long since. But that's essentially, my old logo was 3 of those. And I didn't know that was a reference to me, by the way, at all. I read Maguma Burl. I didn't on any level think potato or anything like that. It was actually, oh God, what was his name? I was watching another streamer, and he got it. He got the Maguma Burl, and he immediately was like, oh my God, that's a reference to WP. And I was like, wait, what? And then I was like, oh, it is, nice. But yeah, that's my little story there. Okay, and we get a bunch of skins here. I still don't know how to get the rare collection skins. any of these. Skyscale, Shattered, Storm's Eye, Stormforged. Lots to do here. I'm actually really disappointed in these, I have to say. You know, a rare collection, they give you shit, you know? Like, here, they're helping you progress on the Icebrood Saga ones, or like the original one. Well, no, that's not an original one. Most of them give you something. These are all, it's just like 1 AP per tier or something. It's pretty grim. Nothing for the home instance. Okay, so here there's another portal. If you've seen, we have, you know, the portal to Amnitas. The Lion's Arch portal. There's this one here. Remember, a new map is coming. In as soon as, I would assume... Why are none of the panels working? 60 days. It's like 60 days left for the daily. So for now it says under construction. I love how they put this in parenthesis, the brackets. Well, you guys, I don't know whether this is still their practice at the studio today, but what happened through most of Guild Wars 2's life was if they were implemented something, but it wasn't fully localized yet. You know, they hadn't fully nailed down, they hadn't spell checked it, they hadn't, you know, made sure the grammar was correct, they hadn't translated it, most importantly, German, French, Spanish. If it wasn't fully done yet, they would have it written, essentially if it was a placeholder, they would have it written in double parenthesis. It would be bracket, bracket, and then whatever it is, and then bracket, bracket. And, you know, playing like the alpha, you'd see that everywhere. Whenever you get into like an early press beta or something, you see it everywhere. And this, I feel like, is that again, but like they're like nodding to themselves almost or something. But it's just one bracket, because if it was two, if that was two brackets, they definitely would be like, oh yeah, we actually need to work on this. But anyway, yeah, this will be the portal for the for Naos, I'm sure of it. When we go to the Mist. I mean, Naos has got to be the next map, surely. It's a shame I can't... Oh, I can. Hold on. Repurposing this old lookout is going to take some work. It feels like it's only a matter of time before the world knows of us. So this could take us anywhere we wanted... ... Huh. Hold on. Is the world going to find out about them? And they're going to run away? Somewhere else? The tower can move. But I mean, this will always... Surely this will always be here. That'll be very bold. Alright, so what else have we got here? Well, there's the island over there. Let's do that, I guess. We're sort of nearish. Yeah, the NPC did just inject a bunch of doubt into me. It doesn't sound like that's to Naos now, does it? Maybe that's the story, though. Maybe they flee to Naos or something. I don't know. Sean, I'm only on day 5 of the VODs, but you wanted to join a live one for once. Where are we in the story? Not much for... Actually, day 5 is a big one. I think I progress a lot of the story on day 5. Oh. Not that much further. We're on, like, We're starting Act 3, basically. Which is the final act. But essentially, I have a whole map to do, and all the story associated with it. In terms of, like, lore and discussion, though, there's a lot going on. And in terms of the 100% part of this series, you know, getting all the achievements and things, even more. Hey, Rocker! Dude, you really don't have to donate, thank you. You help more than enough in a million different ways. Thank you, man. Oh, yeah, who was that had a question about content creation? I missed it. If you want to repost it, sorry. I'm just geeking out about the game here and missing chat a lot. So, WP, this might be too early to ask, but so far, compared to the other expansions, how would you rate this purely based on how much you enjoy yourself playing through it? Based purely on how much I enjoy myself playing it. Probably the same as End of Dragons. Maybe a little lower than End of Dragons, actually. Which means it's the worst, to be honest. And listen, only because... Alright, first of all, I can't really answer this question properly, because too much time has passed. But when I think back to Heart of Thorns coming out, I think about when I first fought the Wyvern Patriarch, when I first started gliding, my first time even on like a fucking bouncing mushroom, right? Like, a lot of that stuff felt really good. The guild halls felt really good. The elite specs felt really good. Heart of Thorns was limited with the amount of story it offered, and it really fell apart as far as... You know, I did a story review of I did a big review of Heart of Thorns. I reviewed everything of Heart of Thorns. But I did a story piece as well, right after it came out, and that was not a very favourable review, really. So, you know, Heart of Thorns had its faults, but when I think about those experiences, the first time at Tyrir and the chest run at the end there, Heart of Thorns, it was really good, you know, and it was very transformative and fun beyond what I'd experienced in Guild Wars before. Likewise, when I think about POF, POF is a fucking good expansion. It's big. Again, the story fell apart. You know, after you die and come back, which is like so amazing, it's like the best beat, suddenly the story runs out, you know, and suddenly, you know, there's almost no plot in the Desolation, you know, and we rush through Vabi really quickly. So again, there are story issues, but when I think, and again, nostalgia is clouding this because it's been a long time, I can't answer the question properly, but when I think about POF, you know, I think about first getting on that mount, you know, first getting on a raptor and seeing the desert open up around me and seeing Choya and Sand Sharks and the Hydra and the Djinn and all that. And when I think about like getting all the side achievements in POF, like it's really fun. It's very big expansion. So yeah, POF fell apart with the story again, and POF was a letdown with the metas. But it had some really high highs, and that first playthrough, going to the library, and again, when you analyze a lot of the story, it doesn't feel that satisfying. But wow, POF was, what a moment, you know, it was a really great fun expansion. EOD now clips down a bit, I think. EOD, I had a lot less of those experiences. I think EOD was definitely a level lower. There was less novelty. Certain places didn't feel as dramatically cool as I wanted them to, like the Echo Valley Forest and stuff. The turtle wasn't, you know, getting on a turtle for the first time wasn't a big mind blow, you know, after all the way through Season 4 we'd had all these things and stuff. But EOD was okay, you know, and it had some good story and stuff. I feel like, and when I played Secrets of the Obscure, okay, it just felt like playing Guild Wars 2 patches. That's how it felt. It felt like more Guild Wars 2. If you like Guild Wars 2 on any level, it felt like more Guild Wars 2. Now, everything I'm doing here on these videos, I'm really fascinated and interested in, and I'm really enjoying myself looking at all these documents and things. But to just generally be playing through the story, to generally do a meta, to generally do A, B, or C, I think that both EOD and Secrets of the Obscure are a click down. But I don't think that's maybe a terrible thing to say about EOD. But for these, you know, it's cheaper and we're getting one every year. So I think I can accept this quality. Easily I can accept this quality. We're getting one every fucking year, man. 2 years from now, 3 of these will have been out already. So, and again, I really do want to see how number 2 and number 3 go. But yeah, POF and Heart of Thorns I do think are an echelon above. And I think End of Dragons as well had, you know, it was bigger and it had more places to go and stuff. So my gut is that this is the most, to say it out loud sounds horrible, but it's the weakest of all the expansions. But again, it's kind of a new format. By the way, talking about all this, a friend of mine asked me something very weird in Discord the other day. And I was like, oh, I didn't even think about that. And that is that you can buy Secrets of the Obscure on Steam. And so there are Steam reviews for Secrets of the Obscure. Now, coming from other games that I play that get frequent expansions on Steam, I know that if you get like a bad review on one of the latest expansions or latest updates, it's not a good look, and it really does impact sales on Steam, and people start talking about it on forums and stuff. So I was like, oh yeah, I wonder how Secrets of the Obscure is reviewing on Steam. And there's like 10 reviews. It's like, I don't know whether that's its own misery. There's like 10 reviews. So basically, you know, most of us playing, I would like to say, are not on Steam. And those who do buy it on Steam aren't bothering to review. But it was an astoundingly low. And unfortunately, it's mixed reviews at the moment. I don't know whether it's still true, but it's mixed reviews. And if you read the reviews, they're actually kind of saying very similar stuff to what I just said. I mean, some of them are just fucking frothing at the mouth, need to go outside a little bit more often probably, or something, you know. But, you know, people are like, yeah, no, it's okay, it's whatever, you know. But yeah, I don't know how it is right now. Maybe again, the whole, you guys in chat can go see what the reviews state is at the moment. But I think it was like 7 positive. I think it was maybe like 15 reviews. It was like 7 positive, 8 negative or something. And it came out mixed. You're expecting me to enjoy this more than End of Dragons. Yeah, the lore is good, but the lore isn't the only reason I play this game, you know. When I think back to those really amazing moments I had, first getting on the glider, the initial bosses, the guild halls, the raiding, all that kind of shit, when I think about all those experiences, none of that's really lore. It's not lore that makes me sit up and go, whoa, this is fucking... Like, to really feel it, you know, and to be like, oh, I'm on a cool adventure, look at how cool this place is, look at how cool this feels. Oh, this is awesome. Look at all these new toys. That kind of like, oh my god, I'm in my element, really enjoying Guild Wars. That's not a lore enjoyment, you know. I don't just play this game for the lore. I play it for a lot of different reasons. So yes, I will say this is the best subject material, the best topics, the best vibe out of all the expansions. I'll say that, yeah. This lore is more up my alley than any of the other stuff. Definitely it is. POF is also very good though. You'll notice both stories not about the Elder Dragons, as much as I whine about doing them justice. But yeah, I mean, POF's kind of about the Elder Dragons. But yeah, so there was things I really like about it. It's just, you know, that is an overall impression. This feels a lot like, you know. And a part of that isn't even the game's fault, by the way. Because how do they keep innovating and how do they keep blowing our mind with the new amazing stuff all the time when the feature base is pretty much here in the game, you know, we're pretty much set. And due to a lot of their philosophies about not taking things away and access and stuff like that, they'll never really get certain things back. You know, there are reasons to believe that Guild Wars is cooked, you know. Alright, anyway, let's talk about this fucking island, shall we? This is the Wizard's Respite. There's a skirmisher just chilling here. There is water. We get the cool water engine thing. I don't know why I've lost all my skills underwater now. I don't even really know what I'd want on an Ellie underwater. I'd like to be able to cast Glyph of Storms down here. On a Tempest, I like using Shouts. I want a Stun Break. I don't know. Relentless Fire, I guess, might be fun. There's a clam in here. Nice watery effect there. Nothing to do through the waterfall, I don't think. No. But a nice peaceful little area. I like this place. Can't speak to anyone. There's a mastery point on top of this tower. Now these towers are usually named after the wizards, aren't they? But not this one. I like this as well, this guy looking out to the distance. Look at that, that's very good actually, isn't it? It's funny to think they could, in theory, move this whole landmass somewhere else on the world map and it wouldn't have to change at all because you'd just be above the clouds. To be honest, it's hard to beat the expansions that introduce the concepts that the later ones build on. Exactly. Exactly. But on the other hand, you know, they can do really good elite specs. Like, POF had better elite specs than Heart of Thorns, as far as I'm concerned, in terms of, like, detail and lore. You know, like, you look at Firebrand with all the flavor text involved in it. You look at how crisp and amazing all the hollow stuff was. Like, I think the POF set was over... You know, I'm not talking about efficacy or balance or use in the game. I'm talking purely about the design and all the facets to them. So POF improved. Heart of Thorns laid it down, but POF improved. That could have been happening with Guildhall systems and scribing and decorating, and it could have been happening with PvP game types like Stronghold, but a lot of shit got abandoned, you know, so they could continue to capture that magic. The fundamental, the mastery system as well could have been likewise a similar thing, but the basic principles behind it, I think, have sort of crippled it. Everything since the Grace of the Land nerf was terrible. Raiding was also, you know, they were fewer and further between during the POF era, but there was good content. There was no raid content in EOD. Think about that. And there's none on the slate for Secrets of the Obscure either. That's an interesting thought, actually. Weren't the devs kind of being cagey about saying no more raids ever? Didn't they kind of leave the suggestion that they did? But there's absolutely none planned for Secrets of the Obscure. There's 3 strike missions coming with CMs. And a fractal with a CM. Sorry, take the MP? What's the MP? What, over on that island? Did I mess something up? Oh, we already have the mastery point. Sorry, I got that one ages ago, and it's account bound, so I can't get it again. Just trying to keep my eyes out for a lore book here. Another cool room. This one's like Magoomery. This one's very cool. Look at this. Oh! I'm under a bad trip. That's awesome. That's very cool. And it looks like, oh, I messed up, whatever. It looks like a pony, the icon. I think that's a pony anyway. And we get a big head. Oh, and it goes away the second I leave. Hold on, what about that room? Oh, we just used our mastery there. We just used our sky scale mastery. Oh, this one's really nice as well. Oh, imagine if we could swim down and there was like a hidden place there. It'd be like the Poseidon room in St. Francis's Folly. With the really long dive, if anyone knows what I'm talking about. I think it's Poseidon, wasn't it? So there's a waypoint. Oh, okay, right. This POI is the last thing we need for map comp. And it is super, super good. It's awesome. It's hidden under the island. So what we do is we come down, and on like launch day there are a billion people here looking for this. You come under this lip, I think. No, just as a warning, this might take me a while to find, but it's essentially that. It's under a lip. I think it's round on the south side more than it is anywhere else, and we don't want to run out of too much juice. Let's try under this lip here. This is probably it, this bit here. Ready? We come down, and it's in there. Look at that. Look at how hidden that is. And it could be along any of this stuff. It's right here. And it was really cool because in map chat there were a lot of people asking how do we get there, you know, talking to each other, being social. That's what MMOs thrive on, and I really like stuff like that. I wouldn't mind if there were multiple POIs like that on every map. Of course, there's me saying that, and then there's going to be a bunch of people saying, oh, it's terrible, it makes me take too long. But yeah, there you go. This is Isgaren's hidden library. We don't get any items for map comping this place, I guess. Or maybe I did, and it's just once ever, because it's collection-based. Oh, can I not actually go through the door? Can I kneel? Please let me into the hidden library. Please. Oh. It's okay, there is no shortage of lore for us, especially in the next map, so whatever. That's amazing that they called it his hidden library and they just blue ball me on the front of it. Oh, my personal waypoint's still there. Well, we want a regular waypoint probably. Where the hell is a regular waypoint? Up here. You hope we can visit the library one day? I mean, maybe, yeah, one of the follow-up patches. I hate saying that over and over and over because I'm kind of doing this thing, you know, where it's like... Oh, wow, there's another Jotun. Astral Ward Equilibrist? Bro! Oh, he's leaving. Do you know what that makes me think of? You know in Holbrack, where you get the Jotun that Throne the Lost, he comes, I don't know where he actually comes from, maybe here? I don't know where he comes from, but he like circles the lodge and then he goes into Newt's office and then he comes out and, you know, he talks about the tooth thing. That's another thing that Season 3 packed in, by the way, the whole tooth cracking thing as well. Which would have been far better suited in the Icebrood Saga, ultimately, but hey. I wonder then if ArenaNet have done a similar thing. What if I follow him? Maybe he just went and spoke to someone, gave a bunch of lore bombs. Oh, he's here now. Let's follow him. Is he just going to walk in? He might just go in the same door again. Oh, he had another donation. Guys, this is very nice of you all. Thank you very much. I may as well plug it as well, real quick. If you guys do want to support me, like, on the long term or in, like, a really meaningful way, please do remember I do use Patreon. And anyone that goes there, it's an unbelievable help. I mean, that's literally how I live, so... Ribchop says, do you think your opinion of Secret of the Obscure will change in 3 to 6 to 9 months once the substantial features and the patches get added? It's hard to compare at the moment since not all the content is... Well, no, I don't think so, because I think that what those patches are going to add is more story, which is great, and I'll have a lot of fun with, and content. I think that they will give you content, but in terms of, like... and it's going to be drip fed because it's 3, 6, 9 months. So in terms of getting a bulk of stuff to play, and it feels somewhat transformative, those two things, you know, there's that bit of magic, there's that click of, oh, the new adventure kind of thing. I don't know whether they'll give me that. I think they're going to feel very, very, very living worldy. the kinds of stuff that they're giving, I think, are really on point, though. Obsidian Armor's great. Legendary Relic is great. CMs are great. A new Fractal is great. The stuff slated is very, very, very good. And, you know, there is this other question. Was the bulk of content from Su2's release enough? And that's really hard to judge. It probably is. But they went with, like, disconnected floating islands in a bunch of environments that I've seen before. So it doesn't feel like entering the jungle. It doesn't feel like entering the Echovald wilds. It doesn't feel like spanning the desert on a raptor and seeing the Temple of Cormyr in the distance and stuff. It doesn't evoke any of that in me. And none of the maps do. I mean, the Wizard's Tower is really cool to explore. So it might just be the way that they, you know, the idea of this expansion. You know, if there is an expansion that is, okay, the entire Woodland Cascades or this island or something, I think I probably will get that feeling. If they can fill out this whole island in 2 maps at the launch of a mini X-Pack, right, I think I probably will get that feeling back. As long as it feels new, it's just a question of new assets. New enemies, I don't want to feel like I'm on Istan. I don't want to feel like I'm in Alona. I want to feel somewhere new, you know. I want to see lots of new enemies, new fauna, new, like, textures covering the ground. Not the same rocks, you know, that we've seen not the same roots that we've seen 1,000 times. It's just got to be new. And yeah, I think that will be enough. I will get that feeling. For sure. I kind of hate getting in conversations like this because I'm just prattling on here. I don't really know. I haven't properly sat down and thought. Anyway, now that we have map comp, I guess that's a sign we're pretty much done with the Wizard's Tower. But what about... Okay, let me just ask to people in chat, what do you think I've missed? Because like I said, a friend told me that there are, like, orbs... Yeah, like this. This here, look, ready? So he's pointing. This is really ominous and fucking weird. Oh my god, he's pointing. Okay. There's a guy up there. And then there was a guy over there. What did that do though? Is it still there? Is it gonna go away? No, it's still there. This expansion also has a really good mix of things. You know, it has decent adventures. Sorry, are you pointing into the middle? Am I supposed to... Oh, yeah. Okay, I can interact with this. I see. They're not telling me where to go.
Oh, yes. I earned this.
Right, secrets unobscured. Peer beyond the veil to uncover hidden treasures in the Wizard's Tower. So there are 3 of those, apparently. So we got to find a couple more. Yeah, this expansion has a good mix. You know, it's got, like, the fox spirits. It's got adventures. It's... You know, I like the things that it has classic map comp. It cut hearts, but maybe that's okay. Right, so we get 1. I wonder if they're just all out on the grass. It was very subtle, and there was no text marking it. That's that event. Well, I guess there was only 1 in the grass, unless they're higher up. There's a bird person with a purpley void sort of stuff in the tower you should look at if you haven't already. There is a bird person by a door with the purpley void sort of stuff around in the tower. Are you saying that there's a void NPC? I'm beginning to think that I shouldn't look very closely at all the Easter eggy little fun wacky stuff. I sort of feel like they're just trying to go for a Hogwartsy kind of vibe, you know? Oh, we didn't do this adventure either. Come back later and give it a shot. Balloons. When can I come and do this then? Oh, you mean the Tengu keeping the mad round beast and check behind the door? That mad round thing's very cool. One's night, one's day. Yeah, but the Sky Scale one was night, and it's currently day, so surely we can do the balloons. Okay, let's actually look at our achievements here then as well. This doesn't give me any clue as to where they are. So, target practice, that's the balloons, I guess. Okay, and then hide and seek, find the hidden djinn. I was told I can just ping the djinn and then that will show his location. But I guess we'll come back to that. Comrades in arms, find the missing members. Complete the wizard's trial race. See, I didn't see a race either. That's let's see if we waypoint back actually. Use our personal waypoint. The race might be going on. Well, that was weird. They were all stopped. Did you guys see that? Oh shit. If I just jump down, it should take me back. I'm glad that they did these doors as two-way. Is there a player down there? No. I could have sworn I just saw a black silhouetted player. Oh, here you go. The race is underway. Would I like to join? I got 1 minute. Oh, no, but that's... Oh, no. Wow, I fucked it then. I can't do it. If I was Boots, I could do this. 40 seconds. Ugh. See, this is brutal. Come on, let's go, 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 go. Okay. Square. We'll wait for the diamond. Okay, that's a diamond. This is okay always. Circle. There's no circle. No! Okay, wait, square. Okay, 50 seconds. Just got to do this room 3 times. Shit. Oh, I can't do it. I can't. 40 seconds to get all the way along. Oh, if only I had my Jade bot mastery. Okay, go, go, go. Alright, what did that take me? 15 seconds for each? I'm gonna... No! Oh, I fucked it. Are we on the bottom floor now? We're all the way back down to the bottom floor! I didn't even realise that that's how that worked. Alright, yeah, well, we've definitely fucked it then. I thought every time you went through a door, you got like a respawn checkpoint. That makes it even more of a mechanic that you do the same room 3 times. Well, I got credit. Does that count? Does getting credit count? You know, I tried. Participation reward, please? Let's see if this works. No. Or it might. I lost a bit of height. The race is finished. There you go. I got my participation reward. But not the one I really wanted. And now we're doing this again. Okay. I think that's it, guys. I think we're done now. With the Wizard's Tower, we move on to Amitas. And we just have the generic goal of tracking down rifts. I can't believe there's no more lore books. I got nearly all the books in that first episode. There's none on the floor here. Let's generate an updraft. What about this stairway over here?
He was right there.
That's the Karkanuk. We definitely explored all of this, right? It does work gliding across. Yeah, and then this is his Garen's room. Did I check the books on the ground floor on the right? You mean over here? Yeah, I mean they were all the best books, weren't they? Is the T2 rift stuff during the story? I can't remember. I think yes, you do have to do a T2 rift at some point during the story. Well, there you go, guys. That's the Wizard's Tower. Let's go. Next area. Yeah, and it just says locked. When I mouse over it, I was wondering if it would have, like, the timer when I mouse over, but no. Did we see the Zaitan portal? Yeah, we did in the previous part, yeah. Okay, so... Keep an eye peeled on the clouds above. Something stirs. Something. Strange cryptis activity. Been seeing heightened activity around the bastions. Panic is rising, and imagine that only encourages them. So we are now in the home of the Wizard's Court. The Wizard's Tower totally just gave me the impression that was their home with all their quarters and stuff. But so this place is like Ratasum, you know, with the colleges. There's like, each college is a bastion. This is the bastion of the natural. There's a bastion of the obscure. There's a bastion of strength. You know, 2 others. I can't remember their names right now. And essentially they're just flying giant rectangles pushed quite close to each other. I mean, maybe that's an unfair description, really. But yeah, it's another version of the Skywatch archipelago, but full of lore and a lot of the new architecture. This white gold kind of architecture, these sort of buildings everywhere here. And so this map does feel quite new, I think, you know. So let's see what we got. Well, I mean, what order do I want to do this shit in? I really don't know. It says this POI is below us. Maybe let's just have a look on this opening plateau and see if anyone wants to speak to us first. There's a faction provisioner. I haven't bought mine for the day yet. I'm running low on... a lot of this stuff surely isn't worth it. I mean, look at that. 5 tokens for a Stormforged thing. Isn't the Stormforged stuff, like, really expensive? Oh, no, it's not that expensive. Oh, I could just get this collection, then. Nice. And here, look, there's minis and things. Here's mini Isgarin, which is crazy because we haven't met Isgarin. So if I do this, it will spoil how he looks, basically. But there's mini Galrath as well. So there's Gareth. I won't spoil how he looks. The essence of the natural, I have no idea. Should I buy it? 100 pinches of stardust, 100 research notes. So that dinged an achievement. Spire of the Forgotten. Learn more about the Bastion the Natural and the Forgotten to acquire a powerful and ancient weapon. The Spire of the Forgotten. And we also get a Relic of Vast from that. That's the one I was just talking about with PvP. So one of these we get for doing all the events. I've done 2 of them. So Zizzle is here. And Narcisse is here. Foro is here. These are genuinely all really cool, guys. Learning about the Forgotten here, that's quite interesting. I'm glad it's day. Okay, so that giant thing in the middle, do you see that? That Final Fantasy looking thing, let's be real. I mean, if there's anything that's ever looked Final Fantasy in this game, it's that. That is the World Spire. That is the giant machine that projects the veil that defends Tyria, powered by a Shadow Stone. And it is in the center of the bastions. So World Spire, and then the bastions are around it. And actually, I think that hovering ring is another bastion as well. And you can see some of the goop from the demon invasions is up there as well. They call this place a front line, a war zone many times. Yes, you remember going up there with Justinian? Wow, what? You just read that someone went to jail over posting an LP on YouTube. Really? What's the game? What's the property? And what's the country? What's a Shadow Stone? Is that the blue orbs everywhere? That's a fun idea. I don't think they are Shadow Stones, and if they were, the devs would have made it quite clear. A Shadow Stone is like a Bloodstones contain magic. Shadow Stones are conduits for magic. So they like transfer the power from somewhere else, I guess. You can think of them a bit like batteries, I guess. But they don't... I don't think that they store magic. They just take it from somewhere else. Maybe somewhere far away. Maybe something abstract. It was a Japanese guy over a Let's Play of a Steins Gate game. Zurich, UK. That's brilliant. Oh no. A big shadow stone powers up the world spire. Yes, so exactly. Bit like copper wire versus a battery, I guess. Yeah, but imagine the copper wire doesn't have the physical issues of needing to be wired around. She looks like she should have dialogue, but she doesn't. He looks like he should have dialogue, but he doesn't. Maybe we spoke to them for the story. So in this map we get these, the ley looms. These create ley lines, which then we can ride on our sky scale, but I don't have the mastery trained yet. That's the next one. And what's kind of cool about that is that's going to be, if any of these panels will start to work, that's my last, one of my last two Wizard's Vault objectives. See, I need to ride one on a Griffin or a Sky Scale. There's also an achievement to, like, get a Sky Scale, like a new Sky Scale, and I've got to do that as well. So those will be later, pretty soon for one of them, because we are very close to having fully trained it. And like I said at the end of the last part, this map really, you need the masteries to get around and have a pleasant time. So this is all a bit labyrinthine and crazy here. I'm trying to find like a logical way to go. Or to walk.
Tyria is our home, my loves, and Voss was the ultimate advocate. The bastion of the natural celebrates each magnificent creature in Tyria's repertoire. From the smallest bud sprouting beneath the tangles of Maguma to the great beasts of the ocean. Magic is not just for the magical, because this entire world is a marvel that we must protect.
This is interesting as well, like, why does Isgarin care so much about Tyria that he wants to construct the Veil and have this organization protect it and stuff? Why are we a marvel as opposed to any of the other realities in the Mists? And is that world versus world lore ever going to come into this? You know, how there's a bunch of alternate Tyrias with alternate Isgarins that are the servers? Like, I mean, the lore is just awful. It really, really fucks with the game in a lot of ways. That is the thing, where if they got rid of all that, that would be a retcon I would be 100% happy with. It's a bit like, you know, League retconning all its shit about the summoners and stuff back when, you know, the players were entities. So the Underways.
Dagda asked me to calibrate her telescope while she took care of repairs at the Celestial Ring. It was a little scuffed from the tower lockdown, so I gave it a quick polish. Reapplied freshly carved bloodstone. When I looked through the lens to make sure it was clear, I don't know exactly what I saw. But I swear the sky is busier than usual. Stars I didn't recognize. Constellations that we've never mapped.
Damn, that's interesting. Does the ogre not want to say anything about that? Most of what we're going to experience here is going to be new to... Well, I don't know. Maybe I've experienced half of it. But I certainly never heard that before. I always like it when they talk about that stuff, because that was one of the areas of the Dragon Saga that captivated me. Wow, the rooster, the celestial rooster. It's a lot like Isgarin's pet. These guys are just chatting away here. It feels so quiet, you know. Is it just that I have the game volume low? Is it because I don't have effects up so I don't hear my footsteps?
Need to get my pets back into their pens before something really bad happens. These flutes should help. They're pretty tough, so you may need to defend yourself. But please don't kill them. They are innocent in this.
Okay. Wayfinder, a blessing I imagine. Please, I could use your aid in getting all of these creatures back in their pens before they hurt anyone, or worse, themselves. Okay, how can I help? Well, the cryptids must be doing something to their mind to make them agitated. Find a way to expel the cryptids, and then you can use my flute to calm them down. So I hit them, and then I flute them. Oh my god, it's so loud. Didn't I just turn that way down? Oh, wrong one. I wondered why the dialogue got quiet. I picked the wrong slider. Okay, there we go. Sorry for blowing people's ears off there. Oh, we don't actually play, though. I want to play it. Oh, wait, no. So we use the Heart of the Obscure to break the bar. Yeah. And then we use the flute. Is this the flute? No. Yeah, now we use the flute. Wait. Come with me. Okay, and he likes me. Into a pen? In here? Oh, or is it done? Where is he? He's over there. Oh, shit, we have to defend him. Oh, wait. Don't fight those ones. He's no longer infatuated. Oh, he jumped in.
Lacking. Endurance.
Okay, good.
Rage at maximum.
We need to do a new build. We did a lot of dagger actually the past few parts. I guess a hammer's alright for now. Now can I break both bars at once? No, only one. Oh, what's with the essence? Do I have to walk in and pick it up? Can I do it while I break the bar? Oh, it looks like stepping in the essence interrupts me. Do I even want to do it then? Okay, he's not infatuated. This is kind of odd, because if I stand too close to these guys, it's just going to give me the break bar special action, when what I want is the other special action. I wonder if a sigil of paralyzation makes this go quicker. Okay. Play music. Play music. Are they going in? Oh my god, I gotta fill that whole bar. Holy shit. I do want to do every event once, so...
Rage at maximum. There's
what kind
the
of pets
power.
have they got here? This one's a sand shark. Oh, there's another player here doing this. Nice. Okay. Do I just have to infatuate the once, and then you just go and do it, do you?
A swirling gust.
Oh shit, look at that! An elite sky scout. See, look, and there's no mount. They could totally do it. They could totally do the thing with the ambient ones at the Wizard's Tower. Or was he just in a stand with an animation? It wasn't, was it? Okay, now we break the bar. And collect the essence. A very odd situation with telegraphing here, where usually shit like that the game wants me to. Yeah, let's tame the elite sky scale. There you go, that's it, I did it, I got a sky scale. I just had to play the new music with it. By the way, if you're doing event chains, watch the event timer. The meta countdown stops all events from continuing. Does it now? Well, I can't see it right now. It's just as the barrier between realms holds. Oh, look, they got a shark. That's cool. Sand shark. Sky scale over here. Another sand shark. Oh, we're really doing quite well here. This is a big area for this event. There's something I get really excited about with this, by the way. Like... Okay, here's these different locations. There's going to be a bunch of lore bombs in them. There's the area of the natural, so all mysteries about natural shit, and like, then there's the obscure area. I think there's one of war or something. They all sound so fun. Like, oh, I want to go to all of them. I want to see them all, and they all have like decent events and stuff as well. Again, it's that thing like we saw in the first map where it's stuff you would usually find in a heart, but they've done it as an event instead. And you know, somehow it feels like it works better as an event. There we go. We probably just want to refresh the infatuation. Are you okay? He's being very weird. My main fear right now is that... Wait. This is going to time out. My activity is no longer going to be respected or whatever. Elite Sky Chuck. Blitzer. The Chuck have got such cool models. Like, look at this shit. A lot of stuff in Heart of Thorns was just so good. Well, they're just slowly going home. I think it ends with this sky scale. Look at the wings. Man, when I walk around on my sky scale, he doesn't put his wings up like that. Actually, it looks a little bit goofy. But it's good, isn't it? It's like they're prowling or something. Skill 3 should be a wing toggle. Oh. I didn't get credit! Oh.
Thank you for helping me rescue them. They deserve better than what the Cryptus would do to them.
That's properly annoying. Isn't that exactly... But it didn't even grey out, though. It did. Usually it greys out. The text greys out if you've lost credit. I fucking knew that. I was like... I know this game. I know that sometimes it fails with shit like this. I guess the other guy procced the final thing, so he gets credit and I don't. Alright, well, there you go. There doesn't seem to be a follow-up event either. We'll have to come back and do that later, guys. Or maybe I can do that off screen. I don't see why tedious stuff should be in every video. There's a box in this. I didn't have credit in the first place. Well, what? Oh, was I just doing the whole mechanic wrong? That was weird. It was just 1, 1, 1, 1, 1. There we go. Did I read the book about Verata in Narcissus' garden? No, I don't think so. Don't believe so. Is Narcissus' garden on this bastion? It might be. Just trying to check if there's anything in any of these pens. You never know with stuff like that. Where's this road take me? Okay. Well, we could go left and just explore this building. And then come back out later. So this is the Botanical Sky Garden. Oh, that bug looked so cool. He came straight up to the camera to say hello. Look, he has even little eyeballs. Pretty sure that's not how compound eyes work, but look at that. Hello. Okay. Look at this. I was just taking in the visuals here. It's funny though, you could, like, all of these are guild decorations. Well, not all of them. They should be though. I gotta make another magical forest, man. In the Spud Hall. Because we get a fountain. If we have a container, we could fill it with water, like this one. There's an aboga. Oh, look at this. So many of these look good as well. And you know what as well? There's a thing where the artists make this stuff and it has to... You know, the textures have to be simplified and stuff and before they actually get in game. So just imagine how cool these actually originally looked while still in Blender or whatever. I do love the mushrooms. I like the mushroom minis, the tonics.
This poorly. What's gotten into you? Stop!
Oh,
it must be the Cryptus. Please, help me calm them down. Keep them alive. You'll need to overpower them. But do try to be gentle.
Armor enhanced.
They're fragile and not in control of themselves.
Similar situation.
Please don't kill them. Once you subdue them, use the Heart of the Obscure. That should remove the Cryptus possession.
Yeah, I'm getting sieged over here though.
Invigorating.
Use the Heart of the Obscure. Well, this one seems more simple because there's no like put them into their pens phase. So what else we got here? We got a jacaranda. Naturally, some of these plants have like aggro range from like 1,000,000 miles away. This just feels wrong. This feels bad. Like every time it ticks, it just says invulnerable.
An ocean trench.
You're going to be okay, sweetie.
I'm glad I actually managed to clip him now. I didn't think
gust.
I'd get the heal. Like I'd executed that from too far away. Forget a choya. So this will just be like a who's who of all the cool plant creatures in the game. Different mushrooms. And again... Wouldn't it be... This, guys, seriously, wouldn't this bestiary, zookeeper, you know, breeder... Here's the thing. The discipline is called the breeder.
A brilliant ember.
The building is called the bestiary. Okay. Isn't that just the coolest thing for guild halls? Ugh. Now, I was thinking what you do is you have a recipe for the initial egg, and then there's recipes for, like, different kibble to, like, grow them, you know? So, like, you can have different sizes of enemies. So they can be, like, mini worms, and then you, like, you have the recipe for kibble. and then you can craft a mini worm with that new item into a giant worm, you know, into a jungle worm. And then you can craft it up again. Oh, it's so good. And literally do a synthesizer again, but instead it's like an egg chamber.
An ocean
And you know,
trench.
with like plants and stuff, maybe they don't come from eggs. So they can be different trees within there. You know, kind of like how there's furnishing kits and then like... Oh god, actually, how does it work with scribe? There are different branches of scribing.
A swirling gust.
Place a hall in ore, so you have a guild hall in restored ore. That would be cool as well. Look, I think guild halls are okay features for expansions, but mostly I think you need to have two. I think a lot of features are kind of meh unless there's a bit of choice or decision making, and that provokes conversation and interest. So like, if you're going to do Path of Fire and you add just one guild hall, well, it's not that interesting. Everyone's just going to swap to that one hall, right? Or make the decision that is just not good enough and not swap at all, right? Same with End of Dragons. But if there's two halls, if there was a Jade Sea Hall and an Echo Veld Hall, right? If there's two halls, suddenly...
An ocean trench.
So, oh yeah, we're going to this one. What one are you going to? Oh, you're going over there. Yeah, but we think this one looks... You know, and that was the same with Heart of Thorns. When Heart of Thorns came out, everyone was like, oh, which one's better, the Gilded Hollow? Or, you know, and that creates something.
Just hold on.
So I kind of believe in two halls at once or bust. And I do believe that mini X-Packs could do stuff like that. I mean, is it really insanely difficult to do a guild hall? Again, though, I think if they hold that all off for like a big guild featured mini X-Pack.
An ocean trench.
Basically, right now, I believe in a mini X-Pack that's big on new races. So a new race and everything's kind of geared around that. I think that would drum up a lot of interest. And I also think in terms of health for the game, and also other genuinely exciting stuff, like I just mentioned with the breeder and stuff, I think a big guild, a radical improvement to guild stuff in tandem with a mini X-Pack would also be very good. Of course, when it comes to adding a new race, that can instruct a lot of the story and a lot of the other stuff. A guild thing could be anything. But, you know, you can have Dougal Keen in it as a character in a big way. And also maybe one where the big paired feature is like Corteria improvements and, you know, shit like achievement point rewards and stuff. I think this is a really good start. Them doing like the Wizard's Vault and the Relics rune thing in tandem with the mini X-Pack kind of is very... I want to see more stuff like that, you know. Do a feature with a mini X-Pack. Some kind of rework, some kind of overhaul, some kind of retooling. It's like, you know, back in the day feature packs.
This crate's feeling a little light.
Oh.
Now for the final step. This way, Wayfinder. This way.
Come, come on, my babies. He will need special attention.
Then our test subject should be a...
Whoa, hold on, what? Oh my god, they have a Morgan Breacher up here called Morthew? That's funny. Holy fuck. Hold on, but what's Zizzle's quest?
Synergy is
and the
beautiful.
quest and the crate thing. Hold on, I'd best be able to speak to her about what the fuck she's got a Morgem up here for. This is very cool, though. Okay, what? We gotta kill the incarnation of the parasite?
How dare the cryptids go after my babies? Thank you. I truly appreciate your help. We all do.
Okay. Oh, she won't speak to me, though. Fuck. Come on. Come on! Alright. Hopefully there's some books or something. I do like this thing. I love when enemies are, like, non-hostile, so I can get up and have a good look at them. How is it even possible to have Morgem after the Dragon's Head? Oh, well, exactly. Disconnected, maybe? I don't know.
Rage at maximum.
Like how the Sylvari weren't impacted by Morgemoth. Like how Mabon wasn't found by the Eye of Janthir. Things up here are somehow separate. Maybe that can explain a lot of the weird dragon-y Easter eggs we've seen here. Like the Destroyer Egg and the Zaitan portal thing. In fact, do you think there's an egg related to every single dragon here? Surely my pet thing would be at a Zaitian menagerie in the sunken Great Temple of Balthazar. Well, no, because I believe in adding a new building for the guild halls. It's a guild thing. That's what I think of it as. So, I mean, they could do that as well, I suppose. That's a kind of a different feature, I think, though. That's kind of like, hey, go collect everything kind of feature, you know? Like another version of mini pet collecting or something. This is whatever Zizzle spawned. This is a group event, by the way. Might be really tricky. I don't know if you guys want to come join me. I'll put my tag up. Test the bomb concoction on the Cryptis. Well, where do I get a bomb concoction from?
Getting healthy.
Over there, it's marked on the map.
Heart of a volcano.
Grab a bomb concoction. Oh, it's a special action. Okay. Oh, nice. Instant break bar break. Stalwart breaker. Throw bomb. Throw a concoction that explodes on impact, knocking down enemies, burning foes that are hit. Do additional defiance damage to those who are stalwart. And who's stalwart? There's a lot of these kind of... if you do the meta, basically all of these special actions are back. And it's funny where it's like, you know, if you, like me, end up doing the meta before you fully explored the map, there's just a ton of mechanics and things going on that, like, I have no clue about.
Accelerating.
So we don't actually hit the rift. Can I heal Zizzle by standing here? I still don't understand why that's a feature. Why did they rework the way you res NPCs? Well, you don't even have to press F on them anymore, you just stand on them. I haven't seen them leverage it in any, like, structured PvE content. Raids, strikes, fractals.
Barrier up. Good luck.
Time before event failure, 6 minutes. Well, we seem to have plenty of time here. The book is near one of the windows when you move west in the garden, where you defeated one of the possessed worms. Oh, so there is a book in there. Nice. Look at this extra info from you guys. This is so good. That's why you didn't like the meta? Too little reliance on actual player skills? I don't know, man. It's a meta. I mean, it's not a place for real skill expression.
This beastie could do for a little taste of a tractor concoction, methinks.
You may as well fill it.
Make it as attractive as me, of course.
You may as well fill a meta with gimmicks and spectacle, because that's all they're good for, you know. Difficult metas and actual... I don't know. Maybe the idea that you've got a new PvE build you want to just have fun using rather than spamming special actions. I can kind of buy that. But there is the whole rest of the expansion for that, though, so... I don't know. This is coming from me, and I don't really have much experience with the meta yet, so maybe I'll have the exact same opinion.
A swirling gust.
Check the next concoction. Oh, I see. Throw attacker concoction. Throw a concoction that explodes an impact, confusing enemies caught in the area, and applying smelly. Deals additional defiance to anyone's stalwart.
I don't like how this one's moving about. It annoys me. Use that sticky concoction and stop it in its tracks.
Zizzle is very cool. I really do like the voice. I don't know. What does smelly do? The horrible stench causes otherwise neutral creatures to attack. Oh, that's fun, but what... That would be better if we were in the garden, because there would be neutral creatures. Did he just change it again? It's a sticky potion now, is it?
This one is so ugly. It needs a full makeover.
Attack my target!
Rewrite.
Oh, I missed it.
Use the transformation concoction on it.
You, but you don't know it yet.
We turned him into a ram. I like it. Oh, why have I got a green on me? Everyone on me? Everyone? Save me! Oh, nobody came. I like it in one of the new strikes, by the way, you guys will see there's a line stack now. Where, like, it's instead of a circle that everyone stacks on, it's a line, and the line follows a player as you move around. So there are some new innovations already, and that's before even the CM's out. Oh, whoa, we turned him into... Oh, I thought I turned him into a salt spray, but it wasn't that. That was my air sphere.
Where did you go? Oh, Wayfinder?
Yeah, hello. What?
A ripple in the earth.
I'd say this little escapade was a resounding success. Thank you ever so much, Wayfinder. You were simply divine. I'll get these concoctions to the Bastion of Strength. Hopefully they can be of some use.
A swirling gust!
Wow, is he actually going to go to the Bastion of Strength now? And is there going to be an event there as we do that? So this was the veranda, by the way. Also quite a pretty area. Actually getting kind of low frames looking in this direction. Very dense little jungle area. Okay, wait. Northwest corner window. If I just go on the outside, will it be easier to see the yellow text? Also, on the whole low frame rate thing about, you know, like the tamer, beast keeper, whatever concept, you know, that's already a thing with guild halls anyway, and it's like people just don't, you know, they police themselves, they just don't decorate. Oh, here we go. So, known incursion attempts. This is volume 3. This one might be the one about Verata. Let's see. A bookmark pulls you to a passage midway through the volume. You wonder who was reading it last. Who was? Following Marin. Who the fuck is Marin? Following Marin's failed attempt to breach the tower walls.
Accelerating!
A great many were inspired to do the same. The cult of Verata being a primary suspect for nearly a decade's time. Just before Isgarin and Zeke, the present warden of the Astral Ward, were readying to move the tower from its slumber in Kessex back to the bounds of Amitas, which was fixed across the ocean far to the north at the time, a small splinter group of more or less corrupt necromancers led by Verata himself managed to ascend the exterior wall. Only a handful of the ward were present at the time, but under Isgarin's orders went into hiding while Isgarin and Zeke set an elaborate trap. Isgarin, disguised as a young human boy, guided Verata and his cultists through the halls of the tower in the form of a chase. Why is this book here instead of in the Wizard's Tower itself, by the way? But hey, because whoever was reading it, Isgarin disguised as a young boy. Most of the doors were locked, limiting their pursuit. They cornered him in the Hall of Confluence. That's the giant central room, right? But before they could capture the fleeing boy, Isgarin offered them many treasures of his master. Verata balked at the notion, demanding to be told more of the tower's secrets. Where did it come from? Who was this master? Because Isgarin has no master as far as we know. It's all fabrication? As they interrogated Isgarin, one of the necromancers stepped a little too close to one of the cosmic gateways in the chamber. Isgarin begged them not to get too near, lest they unravel the truth behind the Wizard's Tower. Verata, being much too eager to see through Isgarin's games, guided the young boy to step through first so they could follow. He did, and while Isgarin was safely deposited in another section of the Wizard's Tower, Verata and his cultlings were dropped straight into the ocean. It took them hours swimming from island to island to make it back to the coast. Sorry, how were they dropped into the ocean? He dropped the whole tower? Surely not. It's just they all went through the portal and Isgarin, because they changed the destination, I guess. That's a really great little story. Okay, so Verata is in the expansion. I think it's likely that they've told all the story they want to tell about Verata now, actually, from this. That's really fun to think about. I don't think there necessarily is a master, by the way. I don't think we're meant to read this and think, oh, there's a master. We wonder who was reading it last. Well, my guess might be that Galrath would have been reading this. If Galrath is only back as an undead because of Verata and his cultists, it could have been interesting to him. Interestingly, though, this book doesn't spell the end of Verata. It doesn't say he died. It says that they just swam back. I also thought for a second here it was going to explain the little movement between the two games. I thought it was going to explain why it moved from here to here. But, and previously we've kind of just thought, oh, maybe because of the Tengu and the Dominion of Winds told them to fuck off. But it's weird actually, because now that I think about it, the Wizards Court are so powerful, I doubt they would have cared that much about the Tengu. But maybe they do it just to be respectful. It's not like the Tengu could stop them, is what I'm trying to get at here. Who's Maron? So Maron... Following Maron's failed attempt to breach the walls, a great many were inspired to do the same. So who's Maron? It wouldn't surprise me if this was like a reference to a Guild Wars 2 player who, like, way back at launch was trying to, like, jump into the tower or something here, you know, like, trying their best. It's funny, now that the tower's gone, you'd think they'd change the world map, but they haven't. That would be quite tricky to do, actually, I suppose. And there isn't necessarily a new world map for this X-Pack, is there? Anyway, yeah, maybe we hear more about Maron later. Sounds very similar to Mabon, but... So other people were inspired. I like this. This is like a lot of colour and extra stuff for Guild Wars 1. I think as well, if I had a time machine and I could go back to the Guild Wars 1's like Twilight years, the North era, and I could say to them, hey guys, there's a seer in the tower and Verata actually tried to assault it, and you know, if you could just give them this document, but with the added information that Isgarin is a seer, I think people would have been so happy with that, and it's such a cool answer and it's a cool thing to think about. But yeah, it doesn't really explain anything else about Verata's ambitions, the minion mounty stuff, what he wanted with the tower. It doesn't really explain any of that, and it doesn't write him out either, so it's just a good little book here. Did we get to read Volume 1 and 2, maybe? Is Volume 1 about Maron, I suppose? I wonder who was reading it last. Well, I'm going to guess Galrath was reading it last. Maybe, though, Narcisse was interested in it? Oh, okay, so we can get some water. Why would we want some water, though? To water the plants? Oh, I thought it was thrown, ground targeted. It's not. There. Have some lovely water. Yeah, and not just the living ones. They're all alive. Oh, the bucket went away. Sorry. Maximum. I ended up burning it. Oh my god, is this event back up? I mean, at least in terms of you got to get all the achievements, do all the events once, they cycle quick.
A swift stream.
It's corrupt again. Okay, does anyone know if there's any other books here? Because if not, I think I'll just go to the Vista now. And, it's a lovely greenhouse, isn't it? Look at it, all the plants up here as well.
You're going to be okay, sweetie.
I really like this room. I like greenhouses in games. Do you know what I like? I like beaches in games. I like greenhouses in games. I'm okay about jungles in games. I think they can be pretty fun. And I like, you know, like the Queensdale vibe in games. And like streams and rivers and quiet brooks snaking through, you know, tranquil countryside. I do like sewers in games as well, that's true. There's got to be a sewer level in every game. If there's not a sewer level, then they've made a mistake. It says actually, YouTube is warning me now that my current bitrate is way higher than what they recommend. They recommend 9,500, we're over double that. But that's good, that gives you guys the quality. You love glass houses and cities? Yeah, exactly. But it's got, you know, it's the sound of the birds in here, this vibe, you know. Okay, so there are other bastions and things, obviously, but we haven't fully explored this one yet. So let's head back out the way we came. Again, unless there's another book. If anyone knows there's another book, tell me now, because I'm leaving. I'm leaving. There's such a good variety of enemies here and stuff as well. Look at that. Maron is from War in Kryta. Check the Guild Wars 1 wiki page for wanted Justicar Maron. By the way, the word Justicar appears constantly in Baldur's Gate 3, alright? And there, they pronounce it... Okay, just so that people... you guys probably don't know this, right? If you watch my Prophecies series, alright? I was calling it Justicia. It was, you know, hi guys, welcome to another video. This is Justicia Hablion, and I'm very nervous. And, you know, those were my early videos, right? But I was always saying Justicia, and sounding very British as I would say it. I would say Justicia Hablion is blah, 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 and blah, 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 Justicia. And then I got a comment, right? Someone was like, it's pronounced Justicar, by the way. This was like the first time I would learn that the internet hates you know, pronunciations that aren't lining up with what they expect, okay? It doesn't matter. You understand the word I used, all right? It doesn't matter. But, you know, people get really aggy about it. So I changed, but this was the first time, so I changed instantly. And I taught myself to say Justicar. And it's true, in one of the cutscenes in Guild Wars 1, ArenaNet themselves have it voiced as Justicar. It's Justicar Hablion in that cutscene. So I stopped saying Justicia. But now I'm playing Baldur's Gate 3, and there's a billion Justicias in it. And they all pronounce it Justicia. So I'm going back to Justicia, okay? Now, my instinct just there, you caught me with my pants down. My instinct was to say Justicar, but no, all right? I'm going back to Justicia, all right? I've not let it go. It's been like 12 years. Justicia. WP, say Archipelago. Archipelago. Justicia. Your early pronunciation is very close to the actual German. Well, there you go, all right? Screw you guys from 12 years back. I know you're not watching anymore. Okay, but I do want to see this. So Moron is on Guild Wars 1. Oh, here I was hoping this was them opening a door, you know, but actually it's another reference to Guild Wars 1. So, Justicia Moron is a White Mantle boss in the War in Kraya, just some random boss that we fight. Oh, you fight him in Keswick's Peak. Oh, okay, so the story here, guys, is that in Guild Wars 1, when the War in Krita, like, arc starts, all the mobs in the maps change. You know, to represent Shining Blade and White Mantle, and they're more dangerous, and, like, those barbarian dwarf guys are around and stuff. They start, you know, they change them. So I guess what happened is in the War in Krita edition of Keswick's Peak, this guy's there. Justicia Moron, and I guess he was near the tower. In fact, yes, he was. I can see they got a map of him in the on the Guild Wars 1 wiki. And there's a quest: wanted, Justicia Moron. So a Shining Blade says to us, Justicia Moron is an avid collector of magical artifacts and tomes. He has always been known to use his status among the White Mantle to liberate these prized possessions from the citizens of Krita, but only recently has his greed cost innocent lives. Those unwilling to turn over their magical artifacts to Moron are tried for treason and executed immediately. The artifacts are naturally confiscated as evidence by Moron. This murderous thief was last seen in Keswick's Peak, hoping to succeed where Galrath failed and gain access to the Wizard's Tower and the riches inside. Queen Salma offers a generous bounty to anyone who can put an end to Justicia Moron. I have to say, my original Wizard's Tower video, the Guild Wars 2 Mysteries Wizard's Tower video, that was pretty, as far as I cared to believe, like, conclusive, not conclusive, exhaustive. I tried to give you everything about the Wizard's Tower there. All the facts we knew, and then whatever speculation. I tried to give you everything. But you know what? I didn't talk about Moron in that video. And I could have. This is Guild Wars 1 War in Krita content. That had come out a couple of years before I made the video. So, I could have talked about Moron. It should have been in that video, but I don't believe it is. I don't know. I haven't watched it for ages. Maybe I did say it in there. But I tell you, I totally forgot about this. Until right here, right now, I forgot about Moron. ArenaNet remembered. How cool is that? So, and then after you complete War in Krita, you can do the hard mode version. Recreate this classic event from War in Krita. Justicia Moron was an avid collector of magical artifacts and tomes, known for using his status, blah, blah, blah. He met his end in Keswick's Peak during the war when brave adventurers claimed his bounty. Oh, yeah, no, that's the War in Krita bounty system thing, isn't it? Yeah, okay, so it's just a little quest about another guy you go to kill there. Here it says that Galrath was trying to get into the tower. So I would guess Volume 1 of Known Incursions is Galrath, Volume 2 is Moron, Volume 3 is Verata. Maybe. But I don't know, I'd like to think that there's even more volumes than that, because that's just a tiny period of Guild Wars 1 history. What about all the other stuff? Very cool, though. WP, is there any lore about the Titans or the creation of them in this expansion you haven't been able to play yet? I believe I have found a reference to the Titans. I mean, we read one earlier. They do talk about the Titans. They refer to the event of the Titans, basically. And it definitely seems like ArenaNet have thought about the Titans and so on. The tie-ins are increasingly becoming really exciting to me as a subject to return to. There is, I'm just going to tell you guys, one of these is like the bastion of like, it's like up here or something. There's like a museum there filled with like monsters and just crazy stuff like there's Giganticus lupicus there, and there's deep sea depth monsters there, and there's a lot of shit, okay? So fingers crossed for the Titans. You know, if they give the Titans the Massart treatment in this game, it's gonna, you know how like Lazarus was so big and badass and powerful and crazy? Imagine if they do that for the Titans in Guild Wars 2. Oh, I really, really, really want to see them do Titans in this game eventually. Nature's Shore Meditation Circle. And by the way, for most of the years of Guild Wars 2's life, I probably would have said, you know, Titans would be cool, but there's no obligation. Like, it doesn't matter, really, because we're dealing with the Elder Dragons, you know? Not every Guild Wars 1 story has to be a Guild Wars 2 story. I'll say that about Abaddon, right? But now we're in a new world, you know? A world of mini X-Packs and specific isolated stories and one a year, and shit can happen, man. So what I want from the Titans, though, is I don't want to see a billion Titans. I want to see one Titan. One Titan that's done, like, amazing. Like the meta event on this one is, you know? Anyway, by the way, okay, this is Nature's Shore Meditation. So I don't know. What does this mean? The meditation circle, usually you can press F and meditate on chairs, but there aren't any in here. I thought this would be a tower to Vass or something. We get the relic of Vass here. Do I learn anything more about Vass, the Forgotten, in the Bastion of the Natural? Man, I don't know. That event's going on down there again now. What's this room? This is the infirmary. List of needed medical supplies. Alright guys, my throat's a little bit sore. We are at the 3-hour mark here, basically. So I'm going to end it here for today. So join me next time, and I really hope it's a bit cooler tomorrow, where we will continue along. We'll finish the Bastion of the Natural. We've done just a little bit of it here. We'll get these, and then I don't know. We'll go counterclockwise or clockwise or something. We'll just keep exploring the different bastions and scanning for rifts. I need to actually remember to scan for rifts. Rifts do appear, like right here at the Bastion of the Natural and everything. But there you go, guys. That's it. That's the next part. Thank you very much for watching. Thank you for you guys have been very generous with the donations and stuff, so thank you all for that. And yeah, just any cool lore discussion. I probably missed a billion comments. You can catch me on Discord with those. Just at me on Discord. Or leave a comment here on the YouTube channel. I always refresh that page and see what people are saying. So yeah, thank you all. I hope you've enjoyed yourself. I certainly have. And I will see you next time. Take care now, guys. Bye-bye.